Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to the World Invitational brought to you by the Oklahoma Throw Series in Throwtown, Ramona. Our sponsors are Thrower X and Throws Pro. There you see it, my friends. This is what people started coming to Oklahoma for, is to hunt down the world discus record. There's the plaque, Nicholas Alekna breaking an incredible world record that stood for almost 38 years by Jürgen Schultz. And I think that today we're going to see some fireworks. We've already seen some incredible throwing for the last 3 days. I am joined here by my friend Dan McQuaid, and we are going to bring you all the action of the men's Discus C group, Discus A group, and Discus B group today. We've already seen some fantastic throws, Dan, in Group D. You want to tell us a little bit about what we missed while we were watching the incredible women's shot put championship?
Group D was smoking. That wind is perfect. You know, they've got 5 rings here. They've got the ring chosen. It's the same one that we threw out of last year when Mikolas got the record. Just so happens that the wind is coming from essentially the same direction, but I think harder this year. So they got the ring picked out, and this first group showed that they picked the right ring and the right wind. Robbie O'Tall, 68.41, a nearly 4-meter PB. Second place in that flight, the German Marius Carr. Just really glad to see that. You know, a group of 5 Germans came over at their own expense, and they came over to here to get PBs and get big throws. So 63.92, borderline PB. I'm not sure if that is his actual PB, but it's awfully close. And then Texas Tanner, who threw the hammer and the disc and done great in both. And then the shot, that's right. I'm sorry, he threw the hammer, the shot, and now the disc, a PB 63.20. So Michael Pinckney of UCLA, a PB at 62.28. So a lot of fun up there, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and we're just getting started. And as if we needed even more excitement, we have a guest for this entire session, a guest commentator. Coach, you want to introduce our guest?
Welcome, Alita Van Dalen, Netherlands and University of Florida. What's up, Alita?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Alita, we watched throw the discus twice this weekend, Thursday in the dark.
Yes.
The women competition on Thursday, I had a long wait that day, and what I was most impressed about your Thursday performance is I watched you supporting your fellow Florida left-handed thrower at, I think, 11 in the morning on Thursday. You were there all day.
She was. I think you were in the lounge at like 9:30.
I was. We of course it's important to support my teammates because I feel like that is a very thing to do here in America, to support everyone, and it's awesome to be part of that and also part of their successes, but also they give that to me back too, stay for me. And we did not expect to be that long delayed, but sometimes you just need to deal with the things that you cannot control and still roll with everything that you got.
We were super impressed that it was, all those hours later, got cold. Like, you looked comfortable in warm-ups, but then, understandably, you looked a little tired, a little off. It's dark. And then, was it the 5th or 6th round for you?
The 5th one.
5th round, you found your rhythm. How'd you do it?
To be honest, I have no idea how I did that. Because
that is an honest
after my
answer.
first throw, or after my 4th throw, I actually went through it a little bit. I felt my body aching. I didn't my last meal was lunch at 1 p.m. and and the meet started at 8. So I only had chips and popcorn in between and a C4.
So that's the secret to throwing a PB. Chips, popcorn, and a lot of sitting around.
Well, sometimes it's good to train your mind and your body to, deal with things that you cannot control and to still try to mentally overcome and come back in the meet too.
That's great advice.
Dan Greaves gets us started today. 56.01 is his first mark. Dan Greaves, Scotland, yeah?
Yeah. He's he was a Paralympic gold medalist in Athens in 2004, silver in Sydney in 2000, silver in London in 2012. I'll continue with his accolades in a minute. All right, Alekna, you got to help us out with the pronunciation of that gentleman's name. I'm putting it on you.
Emmanuel Souza
No, that's not your guy, Sosa.
or
That is Jordan right there.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Jordan Guysom.
Jordan Geisen.
Okay, that's
Unfortunately, a foul. Well,
Alekna, what's the challenge of throwing with a wind blowing like that?
well, you need to keep your cool because you really want to throw far because you know it's going to go very, very far if you hit it in the right direction, and it is towards the right sector line where the wind is coming from. And this looks like a very good start from Emmanuel.
Yeah, Emmanuel threw an incredible throw on Thursday, and we got to spend some time with him. Portuguese record out over 67 meters with a big PR on Thursday, and I'm wondering if that's an improvement.
It's a very good start.
And you know who he credits with that PB?
Yes.
Our guest commentator. What did you say to him to get him to throw? To get him to throw that.
He came to me, and my coach, before he stepped out of the ring, he had such a big foul, he told me. And I was like, oh, I missed that. Well, he came to me, and I was like, you got it. Come on now. Go get what you're worth. And he was like, yeah, but I look so slow. Well, then you need to be faster with your legs. So start to be faster with your legs and be long and relaxed. He was like, okay, but you need to do that too. I was like, I know, but later is my time. You need to focus on right now.
And then he got in the ring and
then he
knocked
got
out
in the ring.
Huge PB.
Huge PB.
Emmanuel starts with 63.76. We just saw Demetrius Pavlidis in the circle. We'll see what his mark is.
Demetrius fourth in the world under 20s in 2022.
I talked with Christoph Kipp, who we've been referring to multiple times this weekend. He's been here the last 2 years. He is a university professor at Marquette studying biomechanics, and he is taking all sorts of data, multiple cameras, I think 6 or 8 cameras around the ring of every single throw from all those angles. He's taking wind speed and velocity metrics on every single throw this weekend in all the events. Before this started, he told me that Robbie's throw was at a sustained 8 meters per second, which was much faster than we saw for the women yesterday with Lagi Tasaga's big throw, Veronica Fraley's big throw, and obviously the new American record set by Valerie Allman yesterday was set in less wind than this, and we've already seen big throws, and so we'll see what this can do. He said it's gusting up to 9 meters per second so far today, so this is the strongest wind we've seen this weekend, and hopefully these guys can take advantage of it. Looks like Demetrius is very happy with his first throw, 56-54 PB. That's what these guys came here
Actually,
for.
he's 65.09
All right.
PB. Alekna, is there too much wind? Is there a wind that is just too hard that you can't deal with?
You would say there's never too much wind, but in these circumstances, you still need to be able to be stable in the ring. The wind is pushing your whole body towards the wrong side of the ring. Like you still need to fight your way through the circle to get in the right positions and still hit the right height of the discus, because if you scoop the discus, it's not gonna fly.
Right.
You need to be very vertical and be able to whip it. That's how I call it, at the right moment, right time.
Okay.
Chad Wright, 56-59, representing Velasa. We talked to Maggie Ewan, winner of the shot put this morning, and Maggie said it was hard when she got around the corner on her first kind of sweep right. She had to really focus on pushing across the ring because the wind was so strong for the shot put. So there's not a shot put wind, but I think what we don't take into consideration is it is having an effect on your body when it's blowing this hard in the shot and the disc.
It does.
Dallin Schertz is up next, representing VS Athletics.
It's so interesting. He just started the reverse last year at the same time as me.
Oh, yeah?
But
What was that process changing for you?
it made me feel very explosive. I think it is really good to start it with non-reversing because you know how to get your hip through there, and to then reverse in that, you can be so long. And I'm a tall person, he is a tall person, and I think it's gonna help a lot if we hit the right positions.
How much do you have to focus on really working the ground and not leaving the ground too early in your reverse now that you've added the reverse to your throw?
I need to be more patient. Sometimes I want to jump out of it because I'm like, oh, I need to reverse. But yeah, it's very good to stay on the ground.
Nick Percy representing Adidas. Looks sector foul wide left. Mauricio Ortega is next. Alita, how did you get started throwing?
How I started throwing, that has been a very, very long time ago. Because in Europe, at least in my country, you start with all the or most of the events, like shot put, long jump, high jump, long distance, like 1,000 meters, and
When you were young in the Netherlands, how long did it you figure out I don't want to run distance?
when I was 11 years old, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Did you enjoy the other events though? Did you enjoy long jump for a time?
I did. I could have been a long jumper too, or actually a high jumper because I had the height.
Yeah.
I was actually really good in that too, but after growing and the growing pains in my body, I was just like, only shot put feels good right now to do that. And then I started winning more competitions. I was like, oh, that's actually, I like winning. Maybe I should keep doing this.
It's hard not to start gravitating towards what you're good at.
Yeah,
Body tells you what you're good at.
that looked like a good throw.
$62.48 for Diego Casa. So we are through round one, and we are going to see these men now that they've kind of figured out how to throw the wind. Did it take you some of your throws this week in both competitions? You competed again yesterday. Do you have to kind of calibrate, like, for direction and how you're trying to release the discus? Are you thinking about that during warm-ups?
You do need to think about that because if you hit a certain angle and it is too close to your body, you don't throw good in this wind because it will throw away your discus. And especially with a 1 kilogram discus, I think the 2Ks that the men have are not that hard to throw in this wind, but still get affected by it.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think the women's 1K disc, if you don't hit it right in this wind, it'll turn on you very quickly, turn over on you really quickly. Yesterday in particular, I thought the way the ring was set up relative to the wind almost like helped if you threw it higher and almost opened up the discus rather than maybe having that outside edge down a little bit and letting it plane out and then turn over. You almost had to set it up high and let it turn over. I'm wondering what these guys are dealing with because the wind's even stronger than it was yesterday.
It's definitely stronger than yesterday or Thursday
Yes.
when Denny almost broke the world record. So it's going to be very exciting what's going to happen in Group A.
Yeah, so Mikolas Alekna is here. I just chatted with him. He's feeling pretty good about his training, and he's excited about the wind. You know, he did not compete on Thursday, so this will be his first go at this year, but obviously he found his way last year just fine.
Yes. Well, he is also still a student athlete at the University of California. So, yeah, we still need to go to class. We cannot just skip classes.
Student athlete, is that why they call them yourself student athletes?
We
You have
call
to be
you-
student and an athlete?
Yeah, we call each other or everyone a student athlete. Sometimes I think I'm more an athlete student, but we're still doing good in school, so don't worry about it.
Majoring in discus, shot put. What is your major? What are you studying?
My major is journalism.
Well, get you in front of a microphone. Look at you, being journalistic today.
Getting more experience, so
Demetrius is our leader at 65.09. His PB from round one still is the best throw in Group C today. That's a foul, so that will not be an improvement.
yeah, Group C is in a very strong start.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, everyone's talking about how excited they are about Group A, but obviously Robbie said, nope, in Group D you can throw far.
Yes.
So I'm sure these guys are looking for big throws as well.
I was happy that I could be there to see that throw. Like he improved every single throw that towards that 68, and that 68 kept flying in this wind. Like he hit it in the right spot, and it looked so far. It almost looked like he almost could like tip the 70.
Chad Wright again. Modest throw, 56.59 in his round one. Looking to build on that. His PR is 65 meters. Alita, we had a chance to talk with Loggy, and Loggy's been on the podcast a few times. I'm a big fan. And she gave you some credit. She's really enjoyed, obviously, being back with Eric Werski, her former college coach, is a change. But she said she's really enjoyed having time to have someone like you push her in practice. What's it like having Loggy pop in for some training camps from time to time?
I think it's awesome for her to come by and have a fun teammate to indeed compete with in our practices. Like I have been dealing with a shoulder injury lately, so I haven't been able to provide much of a competition in practice. But now that I'm like getting back to my old self from last year, I think it's going to be very excited to have her here for another week and we can build on each other.
Dallin Shirts, 53.70. Nick Percy is next in the ring. He had a foul in round one. Nick's PR is 63.46, and I know he would like more.
And he's got 4 dogs at home rooting for him. So even if things go badly, when he goes home, he's going to be smothered in love. Their names are Peanut, Flora, Clover, and Olive. Alita, don't you wish you had 4 dogs?
I'm happy with my one dog that I have, but I miss him a lot because he is in the Netherlands.
What's his name?
Monty.
Monty. What kind of dog is Monty?
I am not really good in pronouncing it, but he's a Vizsla.
Oh, yeah. I think you pronounced that beautifully.
59.92 for Nick Percy.
Nick's really got things going at Throwtown last year. Remember, he came for about a month, and in one of those early meets, he threw 67.
Oh,
I think
right,
that
I
got
forgot.
a lot of attention.
Absolutely. I apologize. I forgot about that
That's okay.
throw. I mentioned his.
I think that got
his
some
old
people
PB.
to get on a plane and get here. He's struggling. Nick's working full time.
That looks far. That is very far.
Yeah.
Mauricio Ortega hit that hard. I mean, he looked like he was really getting after it at the end of the throw. He's building on a 63.24 from round one. We'll see if that is an improvement. It certainly looked good.
I don't know much about Mauricio. Can you guys have any background on him? I know his PB. Oh wait, he threw 66.48 on Thursday.
Another 66.26.
Oh, nice.
6.26. That's a great mark.
I want to say his PB is 70. Didn't he throw 70 at one point?
He did throw
He is
70 meters.
Yes, he did.
All right, I'm supposed to be the research guy, and here I am, loving it.
You're not flubbing anything, Dan. Hey, I want to give a birthday shout out. Do you know who else's birthday it is today?
No, tell me.
Scott Capos,
Get out of here.
Oh,
owner of Throws Pro and my partner at ThrowerX and sponsor of the World Invitational this weekend. Happy birthday, Scott Capos. Don't
happy
sing.
birthday.
Alita, do you sing? Dan's been singing on the
I
broadcast.
sang to you
I
yesterday.
heard that from
That's
my parents told me that. I was like, oh,
Were
I
they
might need to
excited,
look
or-
back for that.
Did you find a way to celebrate a birthday last night?
Yeah,
Fair question.
my coach and Loggy and my teammate made sure I went to our favorite restaurant here.
And the restaurant was?
As a good question. The only
The
thing
one
I
with the
know,
good
What
food.
did you order?
I had the spare ribs,
Nice.
and it was more than I expected. Plus, they told us that that our food was delayed, so we got extra food. So we went back into a food coma.
Hey, if you can't earn a food coma on your birthday, when can you? Dan Greaves here with his third round throw.
Dan threw 57.60 here on Thursday.
He's at 56.01. His PR is 61.08. What an incredible athlete this guy is. I mean, truly.
He has medaled a bunch of times internationally. I think I just started reading the list earlier. I left off with London. He also got a bronze in Beijing in 2008, a bronze in Rio in 2016, a bronze in Tokyo in 2020. He's a little bit like Molina. He's just been to a million international competitions,
It's impressive.
got a bunch of medals.
Oh, wow.
Jordan Gohaisim is at 53.41. Let's see if that is an improvement. It is an improvement, 62.72. He moves up to fourth place. There's prize money for each one of these groups separately, and all these, the top 8 will get 6 throws total. So we will do a reordering after this round. And Don Milliken, out of the graciousness of his heart and his love of the throwing community, is giving away prize money in all of these events today. And so you'll see each one of these groups
Oh, that's
with the opportunity to earn prize money, 1st through 8th place. There's extra incentive bonuses for world leads and world qualifying marks. Don Milliken has done so much for the throwing community in such a short amount of time. And the legend of Throwtown Ramona grows. I think it's going to keep growing.
Alida, Manuel struggled a little bit today. What's he need to do?
he definitely still need to work on that, on the legs a little bit. Like, it's hard to not like think with the upper body because you do know like, oh, it's gonna be flying far in this wind. So you need to very much control yourself so you don't rush the process of what's happening in the circle. Like, you need to be patient and hit it in the right moment, right time. And personally, I still need to learn that too. Sometimes I all of a sudden figure it out, but it needs to be like a consistent movement.
Okay.
And the only time that you can practice that is in practice.
Yeah. So he's got to relax a little bit.
Yeah,
Let
like,
that wind do its job.
Viestin Hofsteinson, a longtime coach and 4-time Olympian, and Dan has written in multiple books with Viestin, but he talks about, you know, our brain, our head controls so much of how we perceive speed, and the best throwers in the world, when they're throwing at their best, they feel the speed in their hips rather than in their head and their shoulders. And I think that is something that a lot of young throwers could benefit from, just thinking about slowing down the top half and trying to feel the throw in the bottom half. Because on a day like today, yeah, you want to strike it hard, but most of the power is coming from the ground and not the upper body. And fortunately, our shoulders are closer to our brain, and so I think that's how we perceive speed.
yeah, it's very interesting because as an athlete, you feel when a throw is very good, it feels like you're almost throwing in slow motion. Like, the movement feels so long. But then you look at a video and everyone says, oh, you were moving so fast and this and that. But that's just because of the separation of the lower body and the upper body that makes it feel very long for the athlete, but fast for someone that is watching the video.
When you're thinking about separation, Alida, do you think about it like in the wind? Are you trying to like establish separation between your discus
That's
and
a
your hips
massive throw.
in the back? Or are you thinking about it on the way there, or maintaining it through the throw? How do you look at separation, and when do you establish it?
It all starts from the back because you do need to have it in the back starting, because otherwise you cannot stop the upper body from moving too far ahead of you in the middle. So it needs to start in the beginning. That's what I would say to the people that
Nick
just
Percy
start.
with a great throw,
Wow.
67.04. You saw him just waiting for that
Nicely done.
mark to come up. He
That's a
jumps
massive
into the
throw.
lead in Group B, 219.11 feet, 11 inches if you don't like metric.
I know he has been struggling for some while now, but that he can come back with a 67 is awesome.
I love just a ho-hum series of 3 throws. Foul 59.67.
Yes.
Just a typical day at the office.
Did you see that little look right there? Like, oh God, I didn't waste the wind. I get 3 more. He's
That
gonna
is
keep playing with it.
fantastic.
Nick Percy was in here earlier giving Dan and I some crap from the background, giving us doing some heckling during our earlier broadcast. So
And
we'll have to give
to
it
be
back to
fair,
him.
shoulder rubs, giving out shoulder rubs.
That's right. Heckle and a shoulder rub telling us to relax. So I guess
He took his own advice, huh?
relax.
He relaxed. And think about, walking in the ring there in round 3.
Casas?
He pays for his trip here. He came here to Oklahoma just to throw 67 plus, and he hadn't been anywhere near it. So for him to kind of calm down and find his mojo there, outstanding, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Alekna, how hard is it when, Nick just threw 67.04. He's going to get 3 more throws. How hard is it in the discus not to say, all right, well, that went 67. Let me do more, and it's going to go farther. How do you kind of
A little faster.
maintain kind of, all right, that felt good, and not overdo it the next round?
My coach, like Coach Worski, taught me that you can celebrate for a moment, but you do need to start acting again like that never happened. Like,
You
you
have a
just need to
short
go
memory.
short memory for that moment only, and you can celebrate afterwards because you still, like, the business is not finished. The job is not finished yet, so you need to keep going and make sure that your head is in the right place so you can maybe even improve yourself even further and further, and have fun too.
Hey, Alekna, how's your shot putting coming these days?
My shot putting,
Yeah.
it's going into the right direction. Like, it has been a secret. I've tried some rotation, and I do think that I'm just more of a glider. Like, respectfully, I'm just more of a glider. Like, my tall body just loves the movement of the glide a little bit better.
It just feels natural, huh?
It just feels so natural, and I think because trying to separate the shot put technique with the discus is for me very important, so I can like focus on the discus when I need to focus on discus and focus on the shot put when shot put is going on. So we take a little bit more time to like practice that too, because I do indeed also had a setback with the shoulder injury to open up early. And so we're gonna open up in, not at the Tom Jones, but the meet after.
Okay. I remember I interviewed you at the NCAAs in 2023,
Yeah.
and I asked you about rotation because I know here you are in America. I'm thinking, okay, people are going to want her to rotate. And you said, yes, people have been trying to get me to do it. I'm not doing it.
Well, sometimes you just need to prove them wrong and right.
Prove them wrong by being a really crappy rotational shot putter. And then you can say, I told you so.
Not that I did it on purpose, though. I did not do it on purpose.
Now you people can just leave me alone.
But
I am
sometimes,
so happy for Nick. Sorry.
yes, no, Nick did incredibly good.
The World Invitational is brought to you by Thrower X and Throws Pro. Throws Pro, equipment you need to throw far, and Thrower X, online resources for throwers and coaches who want to get better. It is also brought to you by Roadie Sport. Check out roadiesport.com. No safe throws, Roadie Sport.
Can you guys do without me for 2 minutes while I go hug Nick?
Go hug Nick.
All right, I'll be right back.
He's got 3 more throws. Don't hug him
I
too
don't care.
long.
He needs a hug.
I will be there afterwards. I need to give that man also a hug.
We are also sponsored by Fiber Sport. Bruce Caldwell has been here all weekend. Check out the Fiber Sport complete line of discuses, rim weights, and you will like what you see at the Fiber Sport website. Also visit Tulsa. We've got the biggest crowd we have had all weekend here at Throwtown Ramona. They have come out to see these guys throw the discus incredibly far. And if you have not been to Throwtown Ramona, the Oklahoma Throw Series put on by Caleb Seal runs darn near every weekend all spring long. So there are opportunities for folks who want to come here and throw. There are opportunities who want to come here and watch. Obviously, the World Invitational is only once a year, but a lot of these professional throwers, including you, Alekna, are going to stick around for another meet.
Tomorrow?
Yeah? Are you throwing tomorrow?
Unfortunately, I'm still a student athlete, so we need to go to class tomorrow.
You got to go back to work.
We need to go back to work, yes.
A lot of the pros are staying, but college athletes got to go. And if you have not been here, it is worth the trip, not only to watch these amazing throwers, but I know there are a lot of young throwers who have come out here and found a weekend to go see if they can handle this wind in Oklahoma.
It's definitely something that you should do, because the Throwers family is such a special place to be in.
No improvement for Dan in round 4. He's at 53.22 on that throw, but he's still 56.01. Chad Wright hoping to improve, but it's a foul. Dallin Schertz is in the ring next. Dallin's at 57.74 in 8th place here.
Yeah, you can see that some of the athletes are indeed struggling with the wind, because you do still need to be very relaxed and aggressive out of the legs and relax with the upper body. So you get a little bit excited. What I said, when the wind is so hard, you know you can PR, but you still need to find your timing.
Yeah, I think talking with some of the athletes this weekend, there's a little bit of pressure, and Alita, I mean, you can speak to this if you want to, but you want to come, you want to do so well, you want to take advantage of the opportunity to throw in this wind, see if you can hit a big mark, but you have to remember to kind of stay on your cues. It's a hard it's like walking on a tightrope.
Yes, that's so true. Like I've experienced that on Saturday, that the meet on Thursday was very relaxed because it is a meet where everyone can do whatever they want. Like you're there for them to have fun and throw good because everyone wants to throw good here. And then all of a sudden it's like a World Invitational meet, and then it starts to get serious, and you're like, oh, I'm excited, but I'm more tense and more excited and maybe not scared, but more like you feel more nerves, and then all of a sudden you tense up. Even though with the discus you need to relax.
You've been in some big, huge international competitions. Is like having a little bit of nervousness on a day like that normal? Like, okay, I'm alive, like I feel nervousness. Or are you excited? How do you balance that out?
I think I have figured it out on the younger stage better than what I'm doing right now, because being very good and talented at a young age is such. I don't know, it makes you a little cocky maybe, but not towards other people, but more towards yourself. You're like, oh, I know I can handle that. And then you get onto the world stage with all the seniors that have more experience than you, and then you need to do the same thing. It's much different. It's way different. But it's also good for me to learn how to deal with in these circumstances too.
You said cockiness. I don't know if that's the right word. I think you almost have to have a confidence, otherwise
Yes,
it would be impossible to perform on a big stage. You have to have a little bit of that. I know I can do this.
yes. I'm still trying to find my way in that in this senior level, that I'm having that confidence. I had that when I was younger. That I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. Qualification, oh, one and done. Yeah. But now it is. I need to find that back. And I'm slowly getting better and better, definitely. I'm so excited for what the future has to come for me and bring for me. And I think it's going to be very fun to have practice in the college meets at the SECs and nationals that are very competitive. And then to bring that out in September in Tokyo.
Well, that looked like a big throw, but I believe he stepped out.
Yeah, he fouled it at the front.
Hit the front of the ring. Yep, just on top.
Nick Percy's in good spirits, and he's a good hugger.
He's happy out there?
Yeah, gives good hugs. The only thing is, the pressure's not off him because he's at 67.04, but for the men, it's 67.50.
67.50 is the big number that some of these athletes are looking for in terms of World Championship qualifying mark.
And we know
Demetrius sits at 65.09.
We know Great Britain is not sending anyone who doesn't have the qualifier. That's sort of their national policy to the Worlds. So if he doesn't get it, I mean, I would assume he's going to stick around tomorrow. There's another meet here. He'll keep trying, but he wants to take care of it right now.
Definitely.
He's got 3 throws left. Let's see what he can do. Here comes Mauricio Ortega, one of our 70-meter throwers. Not many men on the planet can do that, but Throwstown Ramona's changing that. One weekend at a time. That is a good mark. That might be an improvement over a 66.26.
Alita, what's the policy in your country about selection for Olympics, Worlds, or Europeans?
It has been changing over the years. For the Olympics, they had a B standard that you need to throw if you're going for world rankings. And otherwise, you just need to throw the distance. Oh, that is massive. 69.00.
Yes.
Oh, my.
There's a big throw.
That is the World Championship standard.
Yep, check that off the list.
I know I talked with him before the meet, and he was like, yeah, I still need to throw it. I was like, well, the circumstances are good, so go for it.
Yes. I think you got to go into
very
coaching.
excited.
You got to go
Nick
into coaching
Percy's
at some
next.
point, Alita. Boy, Nick didn't waste much time getting in there.
Oh, he looked like he missed that, though.
Little rush. Do you think I hugged him too hard? He's out of breath.
Dane Miller. Pretty excited.
Come on,
Nick
Nick.
Percy's was a foul.
Come on, Nick. We need, what, 45 more centimeters? Something like that? 46. Sorry, not a math teacher.
So Mauricio Ortega now 69 meters even is our leader here in Group 2 as we move on to Group 5, or Round 5.
Stay there for a second, Domingo. Jason's going to reset. Stay there, Domingo. Whenever you're ready, Jason. Ready, 4. Okay, 4. Thank you, Domingo. You're back to tracking.
Alita, right now in the country of the Netherlands, I am so amazed at what the women throwers are doing there. Jorinda van Klinken, former guest on the Throw Big Throw for our podcast, a doubler, an incredibly
Yes.
good doubler. Jessica Schilder,
Yes.
throwing the shot put incredibly well. You are emerging as a world-class athlete, even though you're still a college athlete. Can someone explain to me how so many good women are throwing the shot put and discus so far in your country?
I think I would say it's the cheese.
It's the cheese?
The Netherlands is known for that cheese. But
Okay, jeez.
I also think because our development in the country with great coaches has been very good over the years. And also, all of a sudden, there has been a very, like Jessica and me, Orinda, have been like going to international stages for a while and have been like exposed to the experience of competing, and I think that really helped us knowing how to be a great athlete. And our country like made the decision to not go to certain meets anymore that we have been through or two, and I think it's unfortunate that they took away the chances for them to compete at, like, we have a European Youth Olympic Festival. They're not going there for track and field anymore. That's for under 18. And in my time, it was like for under 17 years old. And they didn't want to go to there was no under 18s championships, and now it is, but the standards are getting pretty high.
Why are they doing that?
Is it a funding issue?
I quote that they said that it's not that high of a meet. That's not a worthy meet to go to.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that they think about it that way, but I think it's really good for the experience and opportunity because for example, the Youth Olympic Festival, European Youth Olympic Festival, is just like an Olympics. Like you get to see like, oh, this is how the real deal is gonna be like.
yeah.
And I want to be an Olympian now. You want to build to that, and that's an opportunity that they took away from them. But there are still people that are really, really good and still fighting for actually making it to a real Olympics.
I feel like the Brits are making a huge mistake with that too, because they didn't send Kenneth Ikeji to the Olympics last year. They didn't send who's Mo's other hammer girl is
Oh, yeah, and a purchase?
Anna Purchase.
Yeah.
And those are young up and coming athletes who could have had that Olympic experience. Like you went to the Olympics. Do you feel like next time you go you'll be more comfortable?
I think I will be more comfortable, but also I haven't had my Youth Olympic Festival. I did go to, I forgot to mention that, the Youth Olympic Games.
Okay.
And that's for also under 18 or under 18. And the Netherlands is also not going there for only track and field, so other sports are going.
That's
So
not
it
so
felt
good.
like I already had a buildup of how an Olympic Games feels like. So it's not that I'm so like, oh oh my, it's like the Olympics and it's a village and this and that,
Yeah.
that you like get amazed by it. So like
You
all of
collect
a
those
sudden.
experiences.
Yeah. So it already felt like, oh, this is my third one. Oh wait, no, this is actually my first real Olympic Games. So I think it's unfortunate that they don't have that build up.
Yeah.
But they definitely should do that again.
A little bit of movement here. Dallin Schertz went 58.50. Stays in 8th place, but that is his best throw of the day. Diego Casas, 65.21. That's his best throw of the day in round 5. And here's Emmanuel, who had a massive throw in his last round, but it was a foul. I am hoping.
Another foul.
All right. Fouled again,
So
yeah.
Emmanuel's got to find his way. He's got one more throw to see if he can prove upon his big 67-meter throw from Thursday.
That's a good flight.
Demetrius is next.
That's a really good flight.
He's at 65.09. That was his first round throw, and since then, 2 fouls and a 60-meter throw.
Take 4. Thank you, Will.
65-11.
Hey,
That sounds familiar.
That's a nice number.
65. Okay.
A little improvement.
Stay with him on 4. Okay, we're resetting with 3.
So I thought, I always say nice things about the Germans because I love their chocolate and beer. But I thought they were really smart last year to send Mika Sosna to the Olympics, even though he was very unlikely to fight for a medal, right? But 21 years old, he gets to go. He gets to live that experience.
Yes.
Now he'll be 24 in LA, 25. I think that's going to pay off.
It is definitely going to pay off. And also to stand in a field like this and need to stand your ground. Well, a lot of people throw 70 meters or close to 70 meters. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting 2028 Olympics.
Yeah. Yes, the way things are building, huh?
Yes.
And I just saw our guy Mikolas in the lounge over there. Is he Mikolas 22 maybe?
He is 22. He's from my year.
Yeah. No, he's not going anywhere, right?
No.
In the next 4 years. A
that
good
was
dude, Mikolas.
not an improvement
quiet.
for Mauricio. His 69-meter throw continues to lead here, but Nick Percy,
Come on, Nick.
the final throw in the 5th round here.
I think it's going to be a really interesting contrast in the next flight. Mikolas's quietness and Matt Denny's showmanship.
Yes.
2 different approaches to competition.
Matty Denny was telling me that he's always messing with Mikolas, trying to get him to be a little more.
Come out of his shell a little
Yeah.
bit.
I think everyone's got to walk their walk the way they do it when they're in the ring and around the ring, in between throws. Everyone's got their routine.
Yeah.
Some people a little more insular. Some people a little more high five, talk with other people, joke around.
Yes.
I think Tom Walsh and Ryan Whiting. Well, Ryan Whiting's been retired for a little bit here, but I know that they used to be pulling pranks on other throwers in between throws, which I think sometimes loosens the group and probably sometimes is received ill-fatedly.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm more of a dancer in between because I need to get my body loose. So I just
You got to get the
move
vibe
my
going.
body a little bit. Like at the track back in Gainesville, they sometimes say, yeah, who would be like the winner in a dance-off, Anna Hall or Alida after a throw?
And
They still don't know. We're pretty equal in that.
So round 6, as we close down men's discus Group C.
That's an improvement. Really good improvement.
Dan Greaves, great guy and a really immensely accomplished discus thrower.
58.35 for Dan, 191.5.
Okay, resetting on 2. We're on 2. We're live, Will. Jason, you can reset. Ready for, we're staying on 2. Ready.
Chad Wright?
We're staying on 2. Domingo snapping.
I
Hasn't
feel like
put-
with
he
those
hasn't put-
socks, he should throw far.
The socks got to contribute. Probably less than the wind, though.
And the wind is getting stronger and stronger.
Chad just hasn't found his groove today.
Speaking of the wind, I got an update here. Christoph says the wind has not dropped below 5 meters per second.
Wow. Wow.
It's been as high as 7.1 during people's throws. Overall, the high between throws, 8.9 meters per second. So it's whipping.
Foul for Chad, so he will finish at 56-59. Not Chad's day, but I hope that he will be back on top of his game soon.
Alita, have you ever been to Jamaica?
I have not. I really want to try it.
The throwers that they produce are really nice people.
They're awesome.
Really nice. And they were telling us the other day that Chad was telling us and Frederick that they have a really nice bond among themselves. You know, they see each
Yeah.
other constantly at meets and training camps, and they're really supportive and really, they just have a great bond. And you can see it.
It's fun to be among the youngsters too. Like you see, like Roger was in Arkansas, and Ralph too,
Yeah.
and that they're both now like 69 plus throwers, 70 meters. It's incredible how high their level is now too.
Yeah, from a small country.
Yes, a little bit like the Netherlands.
Very
You know,
much
we're a
so.
little bigger.
Diego Casas,
Ooh,
did he save that?
he did.
He looks excited about that one. He's at 65-21. If that's an improvement, he's in third place right now. And remember, there's prize money for each one of these guys, but Diego, as far as I know, does not have the world standard yet. 64-57. Close, but not an improvement. He will finish the day at 65-21 in third place in this group 2. We've got 2 throws left here. Nick Percy jumped out into the lead early at 67.04. And Mauricio Ortega. That does not look to be an improvement. But 69 meters for Mauricio Ortega today.
Not too shabby.
Dan, I was talking with some coaches, and we're not gambling folks over here, but I put the over-under at 10 men over 68 meters was my guess today.
Wow.
Mauricio makes it 2 after Robbie's big throw in from Group D, and we have Group A and B to go. So we're at 2. I think maybe the entire Group A might do it.
You're
in this
looking
win.
solid.
Possible, and there are plenty of good throwers in Group B. So
I wish Emmanuel
I might
would
have set
join
the
them
number
right
too
now.
low. Come on, Emmanuel.
Okay, that looked good.
That looks good.
Yes, no. Emmanuel borrowed his wind-up style from Matt Denny, so he said it's been really cool to be around Matt Denny and see the originator of that kind of step-in style.
It is.
It looked like he hit that well, but no. He doesn't look too happy. No, 59-38.
No.
He's going to go home back to Portugal happy, though, with his 67-51 World Championship qualifier from Thursday.
He improved by 3 meters from his previous national record.
Not too shabby. You just need to be at Worlds when he throws to coach him up.
You help him up.
He already said after the meet on Thursday, "You owe me sushi."
Oh,
It's like, yeah, if you qualify for Tokyo, we can eat sushi there. He's like,
Outstanding.
maybe. Let's see what we're gonna do first.
I think I was earlier. I apologize. Sweet.
One is up. Ready? One. Take one. One is up, Andrew.
Here's Maurizio.
We're staying on one this whole time. Ready? Three.
Ooh.
Take three.
That one.
Andrew's walked away completely. He's over.
You know what I miss is that group of dudes that were down the left foul line here in camera range
They were helping us.
during the women's comp. When Val dropped that bomb, they all went nuts, and you could tell right away.
Ready? Four. Take four.
The applausometer.
You're live on four.
If you missed yesterday's Valerie Ullman throw, Lagi Desaga big throw, but Valerie Ullman 73.52. It's the fifth best throw in world history. An impressive throw, no doubt.
Sensational.
Here's Nick Percy to finish out Group C.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, not an improvement, but I think he's going to be happy with his 67.04. I'm sure he wanted more. 67.50 is
That's
that
a big
standard,
improvement.
but 67.04 today is his best effort.
He went 63.48 on Thursday, so I think he'd
Yeah.
be pretty happy with
Yeah,
this.
congrats, Nick. And
Lee,
for-
did you notice anything about Val's monster throw, like the flight of it or anything? What was different about that?
It was just a very, very high throw, and it felt like it was increasing and increasing and increasing in that wind in the air,
Yeah.
and it felt like it would never land. To be honest, it was very impressive and very good, and very fun to see that there's so many good women, and here now also men that can throw so far, and hopefully we get some notice in the world too now,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think throwing events they're a little underestimated because it's so fun. It's so fun to watch. But
It is fun.
You get to see some of the camaraderie between these throwers as the crew is very excited for Mauricio's win here in Group
Yes.
C. Sam Weeks, who threw earlier.
yeah, that's what I said. The throwers family, it's a very awesome family to be in, and it's so positive. The energy is so high, and everyone is so happy for everyone and cheering each other on before the meet or before their throw, after their throw. It's awesome to be in this environment, and especially here in Throwtown, Ramona.
Alita Van Dalen, thank you so much for joining us for this Group C. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I think you've got a future as one, a thrower, two, a coach of throwers, and three, a commentator about the throws. You've got a
Yeah, we gotta put that.
Bright
We
future.
gotta put that journalism major to use.
yeah. You're
That's
in the right
why
field.
I chose it for.
Outstanding. Thank you so much.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck, Alita.
Thank you.
The World Invitational is brought to you by Thrower X and Throws Pro. Throws Pro, equipment you need to throw far. Thrower X, online resources for throwers and coaches who want to get better. Also brought to you by Roadie Sport, no safe throws. Check out the Roadie Sport wrist straps, shot put glove, hammer gloves, roadiesport.com. Fiber Sport, USA. When an athlete's dreams and goals are dependent on quality equipment, go to Fiber Sport and visit Tulsa. Thank you to all the sponsors of the World Invitational. And happy birthday to Scott Kapos, owner of Throws Pro, our main sponsor of the World Invitational. Thanks to all the crew doing a great job here as we continue to bring this discus action from Throwstown, Ramona. We will be back with Group A and hopefully more fireworks around 1:30 p.m.
Great job.
What's up, everybody? We are at the World Invitational at Throwtown, Ramona. We are finishing the men's Group A warm-ups. If you've been with us all day, you already understand that today has been a pretty special day for a couple of these gentlemen, finding some big marks in Group D and Group C. This is the big group of the day, and they designed this to give these 8 gentlemen the best chance to harness the wind. We talked to Christoph Kipp just before this flight. The wind is sustained at 4 meters per second. It's gusting up to 8 meters per second, and the conditions are fantastic for giant throws. We've already seen first flight. Robbie went 68?
68 plus.
Big throw from him. Mauricio Ortega, 69 meters even out of flight Group C. I set the over-under at we are going to see 10 men over 68 meters. We're at 2 already for the day, and there are 16 men still to compete because we have a fantastic Group B after this Group A session. You're looking at Denny with his final preparations before this flight begins with maybe the best series ever in discus history. Dan McQuaid, what do you got?
The wind might be better today than it was Thursday when he produced that incredible series.
I think that is the consensus here, and certainly there's some electricity because some of the competitors today were not here Thursday. Claudio Romero Beltran was not here on Thursday, or chose not to compete on Thursday. Mikolas Alekna from the University of California has joined us. Mikolas Alekna set the world record here last year at this meet out of this very same circle, 74.35, and he helped kind of continue the growth of the legend of Throwtown Ramona.
Big moment. He has a plaque out there commemorating that behind this ring. But this is the same ring. They've got 5 here, but this is the same ring that they used last year when he set the world record. They choose the ring based on the angle of the wind, and apparently it's just the right angle for this ring. So he's going to be back in his world record ring. It's going to be a clash of styles in the sense that Denny is an extrovert, loves the showmanship side of it.
We've got
very quiet.
We've got our eye on not only these gentlemen's PRs, personal bests, but national records, the all-time list, and the world record are all on notice today, which makes this just, the electricity is definite. We've been here for 3 days. This is day 4 here at the World Invitational presented by Thrower X and Throws Pro. Thrower X, online resources for throwers and coaches who want to get better. Go check out everything that Thrower X has to offer. And Throws Pro, equipment you need to throw far. Scott Capos was just in the booth for us, with us a little bit. It's his birthday today. And thank you so much to Scott Capos, Throws Pro, and Thrower X for supporting the throwing community and the World Invitational.
Thanks
Go ahead.
Sorry. Thanks to the crew. These guys have been working their butt off 4th day in a row here. Domingo, Will, Aiden, Sheldon, Andrew Saylor, Jason Kuhn. Without them, this broadcast would not happen.
So true. Thanks to everybody at Throws University, Dane Miller, and the crew that Dan McQuaid just listed off for getting these great shots and great footage, graphics, all of that. Dan McQuaid are honored here to give the commentary and try to bring this competition to life as we try to build the throws community and get it to a bigger audience. So thanks to everybody who's been watching all weekend long. You are in for a show. The other sponsors of the World Invitational are Roadie Sport. Go check out Roadie Sport. No safe throws. Roadie Sport, RODHE. Go to roadiesport.com. Check out the wrist wraps, shot put gloves, and hammer gloves. Fiber Sport. Check out the entire line of Fiber Sport discs. Fiber Sport USA, when an athlete's dreams and goals are dependent on quality equipment. And visit Tulsa. If you have not been to Throwtown or Ramona, you need to make a trip down here. They offer, Caleb Seal does an incredible job, Seal Throwing Club. They offer meets all spring long at this facility. If you want to catch some big wind, make the trip to Tulsa and come visit Throwtown Ramona. We're going to see a ceremonial first discus throw from the man who this field is named after, Don Milliken, and the man behind this event. Really, it's his support of the throwing community that's offering, it's his offering of prize money and the efforts to get this to be a bronze level World Athletics meet. And so to have him throw out this first disc before Flight A seems right, doesn't it, Dan?
Yeah, he is a super generous dude. All he wants to do is make this a great event. He wants to get money in the pocket of these athletes who have a hard time earning money, and he just
He's
does it
asking
out
for a slow clap, baby.
He just does it out of love for the sport. So he's one of a kind.
Don is 72 years old. He competed Thursday night. He's the defending national champion in the 70 to 74 age group.
Okay, he
he's
ripped
12th
that
in the
one.
world, and that looked good, man.
Maybe.
Yeah, walk out the back, otherwise it doesn't count, Don.
Yep.
Don is the man. So offering prize money to every single one of these event groups, shot, hammer, discus, and javelin, the multiple groups of discus, offering prize money first through 8th place. Prize money to if you hit the world qualifying mark, if you break your national record, area record, world record, all of that money is for Don's just absolute pure love of the sport of discus throwing and throws in general. So thank you, Don Milliken.
He's a little bit like Oprah Winfrey, right?
You get a new look under your seats, my friends. You might
Yes.
have a prize.
You get a $2,000 bonus. You get a $2,000 bonus.
Let's run through this list of competitors today. Carlos Beltran, Claudia Romero Beltran, I apologize. 67.29 is his PR. Henrik Jensen, 68.82. Lawrence Okoye, 68.24. Sam Mattis wins 70.08 on Thursday. Another American over 70 meters has a nice ring to it. Clemens Proofer, Olympian last year, 69.09. Matthew Denny, who just set the world on fire Thursday night with his incredible 6-throw over 70-meter series, and the second best throw all time in world history, 74.25. Frederick Dakers from Jamaica, 70.78 is his lifetime best. And Mikolas Alekna, who set the world record here last year, 74.35. Claudio Romero Beltran to start Group A.
Claudio going with the two different shoes. Did you check the consistency of that ring yesterday?
Oh man,
we were looking around kind
I
of.
really like.
That's a fast one.
I really like the circles here. They've got a couple rougher circles in case there's a rainy day they need to compete. But this circle, this is the Alekna circle. People have been calling it this weekend because this is where Alekna broke the world record. But the surface is fantastic, and like we said before, the wind conditions are just exceptional. 62.56 to start the day for Claudio.
Claudio, 24 years old, represents Chile internationally. Attended University in the United States, first at Virginia, then at LSU. He was NCAA discus champ in a really interesting duel in Eugene with Mikolas in 2022.
Henrik Jansen is next. Dan and I are former throwers. Now, our throwing was quite a long time ago, and we're throws coaches. But being around these guys make me feel like a small man. Henrik's
a big unit.
Dude.
Yeah.
He is a big dude.
He's tall. He moves really well. He threw 68.82 on Thursday. He's kind of a reserved guy. Like, he didn't make a big deal out of it.
68.43 to start the day.
Same thing. He just kind of takes it as it comes. That's probably good personality for a discus thrower.
224 feet, 6 inches to start this off. We've got 3 men over 68 meters today so far. The 10 men over 68 was my prediction. All of these men might do it today.
You're going to get it. You're going to get that. That is going to come true.
Lawrence Okoye, former discus thrower, former football player, now again discus thrower.
Yes. Lawrence set his personal best 68.24 at Halle, Germany in 2012. That's a British record. And shortly thereafter, he decided to give American football a try. He bounced around a little bit. Let me see. I've got his teams. He spent some time with the 49ers.
That's a big throw. 70-76. Lawrence Okoye has
That's
broken
an
the
all-time
70-meter record barrier.
Holy cow.
Lawrence Okoye, 70-76 to start his competition. He's got 5 more throws, and look at that.
It's pretty amazing that he could spend. So from 2013 through 2017, he kicked around in the NFL, finally gave it up, came back to throwing, and to throw a personal best now.
232 feet, 2 inches. And here is Sam Mattis, who broke the 70-meter barrier for the first time on Thursday. Oh, that's a big throw, too. Sam Mattis throws for Garage Strength and works with Dane Miller, Olympian. Can he build off of that 70-meter PR he set Thursday. What a great start for him.
31 years old. He's only about 6 feet tall, so he's a little shorter in stature than a lot of these guys, but he makes up for it in toughness.
71-27.
Oh, baby. We are going to see some big marks today.
71-27. That is enormous. Sam Mattis building on what he started Thursday night with another huge throw.
Unbelievable. Great guy, Sam Mattis. University of Pennsylvania. Clemens Proofer now stepping in. Clemens had a really great finish at the Olympics last year. Was one and done in qualifying with 66-36, and then in the final, 67-41 to finish sixth.
That is
Really
a
nice finish.
foul
for
for
his career.
Clemens Proofer.
And here's the man of the moment.
Matty Denny seems absolutely just locked in this season. He went 72 meters here at a meet last week in cold weather. He went 74-25 on Thursday in an incredible series. He just seems so locked into his technique, that open stance, and he swings that leg in. That is up in the air for a long time as well.
It was fluttering a little bit, but as we saw last year, Mikolas fluttered it as well on his world record throw. Matty Denny, what an amazing competitor.
Matty Denny from New
Bronze
Zealand,
medalist.
yeah.
He's actually Australian.
Or Australian, I apologize. God.
Oh, now I just got a text from Nick Arrhenius, coach at BYU, that Sam beat the old American record by 1 centimeter.
Yeah, so I had written a note to Dan because I wanted to verify before I said it, but Sam Mattis has just broken the American record with his 71-27 throw in round one here at Throwtown Ramona.
Here's Federic.
Matty Denny's opener was 65-41.
If Federic throws well, it's thanks to you for buying him strawberries last night.
He requested strawberries, and we got him strawberries. That's a good-looking opener for him.
Yeah, he got a little love from the crowd, and the crowd is not going to react to a measly 65 or 66 meter thrower, huh? Federic from Jamaica, great guy, personal best 70-78 from 2019. He was telling us the other day he really injured his hand in a fall around 2020 during the pandemic, and just sustained some nerve damage. So he's never had quite the same feel for the discus.
66-33. It's a solid opener for him.
You can see him shaking his hand there. You often see him do that in competitions, and it's that old injury.
Yeah, he said it's more like nerve, like once in a while, just like the nerves kind of fire through there and give him some irritation. So
Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't bar him from throwing far today. So here's your current world record holder, and I say current because the wind's blowing and maybe some other guys have something to say about this, but Mikolas Alekna. Oh, he likes that one.
tell.
Right away, he liked that one.
Down the right foul line, which we've been told is probably the best way to go in this kind of wind. Mikolas opened with 70 meters 09 in April 5th, which is his only competition so far this year.
Okay, hold on. Come on. What is it? 74 what?
Well, I guess he came to
There
play.
goes the world record, my friend.
Oh, my
74-89. Mikolas Alekna has broken his own world record on throw number one here at Throwtown Ramona. 74-89.
Piece of cake, huh? Piece of cake. Now, we were talking about this earlier. They do not have to use the steel tape anymore, right?
Yeah, so I was talking with Kara Winger here, and the laser that they have is an EDM total station. It's certified, World Athletics. This is what they've been using in the Olympic throwing events, and it is certified. They don't have to pull a tape to verify a world record. They will re-laser it twice, and that will be a verified world record as soon as that second measurement comes in. If it comes up with the same number 2 times.
And there's Mo coaching him up. Mo's like, hey, if you just do this, maybe we'll go.
The great
84
great Moatara. Mikolas is still a student at Cal
gosh.
University. He's only 22 years old, and he has broken his own world record, 74-89. Maybe we'll see a 75-meter throw today.
22 years old, he already has an Olympic silver, World Championship silver, World Championship bronze, European Championship gold and bronze at 22 years old.
I will say this about Miklos Alekna. If you have seen some other athletes get very excited about throws, and you've seen some very disappointed athletes about bad throws, that's about as much excitement and or disappointment you'll ever see on his face. He's so even-keeled throughout the competition. Good throw, bad throw. That looks like the guy who is waiting for a bus to come pick him up, not a guy who just set a world record.
He does not waste energy, does he? Does it? He just kind of hangs out and, oh, it's my time to step in and set a world record? Okay, here I come.
Claudia round 2. And he likes that one. He is building off a 62.56 first round throw. We'll see if that's an improvement.
Claudia was a really successful young thrower. 2017 World Under-18 champ. 2018 third in the World Under-20s. Again, we said NCAA champ in 2022. Pan Am champ 2017.
Those of you at home, if you see a thrower stalking the measurement board, they're pretty sure that it's pretty good. 69.65 for Claudio Romero.
New personal best for Claudio.
PB. We are seeing the discus fly big today, my friends, and we are just in. That's throw number 1 in round 2, Dan. We got a lot of throws left today.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Here's Henrik. Looking to back up a 68.43 opener.
A little wobbling.
Some wobble's good, but I think that might have been a little too much.
Yeah, did not look like his best movement from the middle of the ring. Looked a little shaky.
So the 5 Germans that are here, are jockeying already for position as to who gets selected in Tokyo. Mika threw down the gauntlet Thursday with a 70-meter throw. I'm sure these guys, his fellow Germans, Henrik, Clemens, really, really, really want to jump back ahead of him on the world list.
So Lawrence Okoye is in the ring. He's gone 70-76 for a PB.
Lawrence Okoye is one of those guys that, it's either going to go in the cage or it's going to go 70 meters. He's feeling it today.
Looked really easy at the finish. And that's getting a response from the crowd. That's out there, too.
Lawrence is one of the last fixed feet throwers at that level.
Yeah.
Never been a reverser.
We were talking with Alito Vandal in the last group about once you have a big throw, sometimes it's hard to come back in the ring and kind of contain your excitement. Sometimes you push it, you force it. 68.99 he follows up with. That's a great second throw after a big PB.
Holy cow. I wonder if his style of throwing, his release point is just right for this wind, He throws a tight spin, flat disc.
Here's Sam Mattis, the American record holder. We're going to practice saying that. Congratulations, Sam.
He topped that one.
Yeah, he won't like that one. So 71.27, snatching a really old American record. Ben Blanquette, right?
Well, that's a great question. If you want to credit Ben with with a certain distance that he achieved under certain conditions.
Congratulations, Sam.
Yes, let's say that. Let's just say congratulations, Sam. Well done.
Clemens Proofer.
Right. Looked like he threw that through the cage. Yeah, out of bounds.
Clemens had such a nice Olympic Games last year. I think one of the throwers that came out not really as a surprise, but as someone who kind of emerged from a pack of guys who maybe they could have a good day, and he certainly did.
Conditions were great in the Paris Stadium, and the people were throwing far, and he just let himself get carried away with it. 67.41 last year in the Olympic final.
So Clemens has 2 fouls. He'll be looking for a mark in round 3.
Back to Matty. Can he answer Mikolas?
You'll find this ironic, but Matty's in last place right now.
Not anymore.
That is big. And he gets a round of applause from the crowd here at Throwtown Ramona.
Matty, legendary for his big meat skills. He threw a PB at the 24 Paris Olympics to get bronze. He threw a PB at the 21 Olympics in the final to get fourth. A PB at the World Championships in 2019 to get sixth.
He's out over 70 meters. 70-72. Hey, have you ever been at a track meet where 70-72 is currently in fourth place? I'll give you one worse, is that Claudio Romero is at 69-65, and he's in fifth. That's what happens when you get this many good athletes at Throwtown Ramona on a windy day in April.
Let's see if Federic can tap into that strawberry power.
Federic at 66-33 on his opener, which is a really nice throw. Let's see if he can build. Oh, that's a big throw.
Yeah, I think he got that one. I'm sure
I
Federic,
like how that looked.
Federic was
Ah,
looking
he
for that
looks like he looks like I missed it, or he's shaking that hand.
Yeah,
The
he's
nerves we
yeah,
were talking
see
about.
that a lot. He's looking for that 6750 qualifier.
I think that might be good enough. He's stalking that scoreboard, waiting for it to come up.
A lot of competition to make a world team out of Jamaica, so you don't want to spend the whole summer hunting that qualifier.
65-81. So he's close. Both throws grouped together in that 66-65 range, but he'll be looking for more in the next round. So here comes Mikolas Alekna, the now new world record holder at 74-89. What kind of series can Mikolas put together? That one will not be an improvement as he walks out of the front. You saw that kind of fluttering out of his hand. And we talk about this. How do you go back in the ring after you break the world record?
How do you calm down?
He's the only guy who knows in the last couple of years, that's for sure.
Outwardly, he's super calm, but you got to think he's really excited on the inside.
I'm going to go share a word with his coach, Moatara. Mo doing incredible things with so many throwers in multiple events at Cal. Gold medalist in the hammer throw, Cameron Rogers, under Mo's tutelage as well.
Claudio moving well today. He's had a little trouble he hasn't been at his best the last couple years.
Just inconsistent. I don't know if it's an injury. I haven't had a chance to talk with him. But he's looking for some form, and 69-65 in round two is not too shabby, but that's 63-83, not an improvement for Claudio.
I thought when he defeated Mikolas at the 2022 NCAAs that he might be the next dynamic young thrower, but
He certainly has it in him, and
he struggled.
he's only 25. That looked like a better movement from Henrik. His last round throw looked odd.
Yeah. Henrik is, slightly awkward. He's so tall and so long that sometimes he looks so awkward, but when he finds his smooth, he can really make that discus go.
Flow state.
Flow state, yes.
Flow state.
Yes. Henrik trains in Potsdam under Jörg Schulte.
And he likes that one. 69-26 for Jansen, which moves him up to sixth place.
That's a new personal best. He passed his Thursday mark of 68.82.
My friends, it goes without saying, we've got a world record already today, but this is becoming the deepest discus competition in history. We saw the deepest Olympics in history just this last year.
Boy, Lawrence is looking good today.
So calm in the ring and just sticks with his technique, trust the technique, don't rush it. That fixed feet finish.
For those of you that follow the sport of baseball, Wrigley Field in Chicago is very close to the lakefront. And when the wind is blowing out at Wrigley Field, sometimes you get a rain of home runs. That reminds me, this competition reminds me of that. It's like the wind blowing out, they're just smacking it up into that wind. The wind in this case blowing in. For baseball, you want it blowing out. It's like one of those 16-14 battles at Wrigley.
65-77, not an improvement. Here comes Sam Mattis again. He sits in second place at 71-27. missed that one.
Sam was NCAA champion in 2025, throwing for the University of Pennsylvania. His favorite TV show is Rick and Morty. So on the one hand, you'd think he's really smart. On the other hand, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think a University of Pennsylvania guy would enjoy maybe Masterpiece Theater.
Here's Proofer. He likes that one. That's a good-looking throw from Clemens Proofer.
Clemens set his PB 69.09 last year in New Brandenburg, also a windy place. I don't know if it's on par with Throwtown, but a place where you get a nice wind for a discus thrower.
"71 meters for Clemens Proofer. This is turning out to be all the things we wished it could be, Dan.
Nicely done. So he now jumps Mika, who threw 70 meters 04, I want to say, Thursday. Mika will have his chance to jump back as the number one German in the next flight.
We have 5 gentlemen over 70 meters now. Here's Matthew Denny in 5th place at 70.72. It seems silly to say that. He hit that one well, and the crowd really likes that. Matty Denny working on 70.72, and again, 74.25 for Matthew Denny in Thursday's competition.
He just loves a big moment.
He loves competition. He is not rattled that Mikolas Alekna broke the world record with his first round throw. He's just trying to find his groove, trying to find his path. 72.24. So that is an improvement for Matthew Denny. He moves up to 2nd place at 72.74. It seems absolutely silly to say, oh, it's 2nd place, 72.74.
72.24, and you're in 2nd place
And
by a couple meters.
It's also ridiculous to look at Matthew Denny. Oh, I missed that one a little bit, knowing that, he's thrown 74 meters just a few days ago. All right, so here's Frederick Daker, 65.81, looking to improve. He's in 8th place currently.
Frederick really needs that 67.50.
His reaction to the throw did not look like he liked that one at all.
Frederick, really thoughtful guy. He was talking to us about how people get more interested in the discus when the best guys have big personalities. Like you referred to Robert Harding.
Yeah.
If you remember, Robert used to rip his shirt off like Coach Frontier tried to yesterday after Val
Stop yourself.
broke that American record.
It was exciting.
Matt Denny, not our shirt ripper, but he's a big personality, so hopefully he'll bring some of that. And it's always going to be that contrast with Mikolas, Mikolas would be a great poker player.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. You couldn't get any reads off of him. 66.30 is the exact same distance he threw in round 1. So, he hasn't hit a big one yet, but he is putting together a nice little series, and maybe he can take one stepping stone up from those 66-meter throws and find a big one in round 4. Here's Mikolas Alekna to close out round 3. Again, 74.89 is the new number in world discus throwing. Sends that one down the right sector line. That's kind of the play today. The wind is blowing so hard across this sector. A little bit of a quartering wind, but almost a right to left wind, crosswind. And so these guys, the ones that are really trying to play with the wind, are trying to set this up high and down the right sector and let the wind help.
Mikolas's dad, two-time Olympic champion Virgilis, threw 73-something in his career.
74 meters.
So
Is his
Mikolas,
second best throw of the day.
Mikolas jumped his dad last year here and then surpassed his dad's Olympic record in the Olympics. So LaRoche then surpassed Mikolas. But it's interesting, Mikolas is competing in a pretty big shadow.
He's certainly casting his own shadow. I think besides the, Olympic gold medal and the World Championship medal that he doesn't have yet.
Now, they went back and called that a foul, Coach.
Oh, they did.
I am not sure why.
Came up on the board as 74 meters, so we know how far it went, but
That's a late foul call. Did they? I don't know. Did someone, maybe an official in the field, say it was out of the sector?
We'll have to get the story on that later. I'm not sure.
Maybe the official out there and the guy holding the laser stick had a little tussle, and the official overruled him. I don't know.
They do have the right to protest, and they can look at video to overturn an official's call. But that came in pretty late, so I'm wondering if they thought they had seen something. Maybe they confirmed it with the video. But I don't know if you can do that legally. I think you can only overturn fouls to legal throws.
At the international level, they do sometimes
Look
there's
at
a head
video
official.
to call the foul.
They
They
had
will.
a foul later. Yeah, that's happened to Daniel Stahl a couple times. 2022 in
That's right.
Eugene
That's
it
right.
happened.
Yep.
Took away a throw that would have got him bronze, I want to say.
So we are going to reorder this competition, and I can't stress this enough, my friends. You are watching the greatest discus competition in world history. I'm going to run through the numbers just so you understand. Currently, Frederick Dakers is at 66-33 in 8th place. Henrik Jensen, 69-26. Claudio Romero Beltran, 69-65 in 6th. We have 5 men over 70 meters. Lawrence Okoye, 70-76. Clemens Proofer with a huge, another PR, 71-01. Sam Mattis, 71-26. Matty Denny, 72-24. And Mikolos Alekna with a new world record, 74-89. The World Invitational is brought to you by ThrowerX and Throws Pro, co-sponsored by Roadie Sport, No Safe Throws, Fiber Sport, when an athlete's dreams and goals are dependent on quality equipment, and Visit Tulsa. I want to say thank you to all the Throws University crew here putting all these great images together and graphics. And I want to thank my partner Dan McQuaid for helping me get through this weekend. Dan,
Nowhere
this
I
is
would
fun.
rather be. We've had a great time. Just got a text from our friend Christoph Kipp, our biomechanist out there on the field, measuring the wind. 5.1 meters per second on Mikolas's new world record throw. 6.6 meters per second on Okoye's best throw. 6.4 meters per second on Sam Mattis's best throw.
So I can't stress this enough. Folks who are throws nerds like Dan and I, and a lot of the people probably listening to this, all of that data that Christoph is collecting, he will kind of process that, and he did a fantastic job putting that together and presented at the European Throws Conference this last winter. And you'll be able to find that data later. It takes a while. I think we talked to them after Friday's competition. He took 4,400 videos.
4,400.
And that was just one of 4 days here, so it takes some time to process that. Shooting every single throw here from 6 or 8 cameras or 6 cameras?
I want to say 6, but it's
Six
a
cameras,
lot.
so
a lot
six,
of cameras.
6 angles of every single throw, taking wind speed, velocity, at release, all sorts of factors. And that's really good information for not only the throwers, but those are the kind of numbers that help coaches kind of make decisions about how to prioritize changes for athletes, especially at this level.
I think Henrik caught another one.
69-26, maybe he wants to get into the 70-meter action.
You got to think he does now that Mika's over 70 and Clemens. He probably does not want to go home the third best German. That's going to be a tight competition for who gets selected for the Worlds, and this is a time to lay your claim.
That is an improvement. 69-94, tantalizingly close to a 70-meter throw. And he knows, he's laughing about it. You can't be disappointed in a PB, but when it's that close to just the milestone of milestones that these discus throwers are hunting down, it's hard not to say, oh, if I had just, I like that throw. That looked like a good movement from Claudio. He's at 69-65.
Makes you wonder if Claudio's kind of found his joy of throwing back, which I think he lost for a couple of years there.
He does not like that one. You know, if you can find your technique here and then figure out how to play the wind, I think the wind can certainly bring a lot of joy to throwers. When you see these big numbers going up, it's hard not to get excited about throwing. These guys train every day, rain, terrible wind, wet circles, cold days. And you could say, oh, the wind's inflating all these numbers. Hey, let's be honest. The world records were inflated for other reasons. The men's world record, former world record before Alekna, was set on a windy day in a throwing field, not inside a stadium. So, these guys are just taking advantage of their incredible work ethic and training and trusting the training and then trying to put a big throw together when it matters here. And he got great conditions. Foul for Okoye.
I wonder if Lawrence has any advice for Roger Stona. I wonder if Roger's contacted him, because Roger, as far as we know, is getting ready to try out for American football teams again this spring and this summer. And kind of crazy considering he's the Olympic champion in the disc, but
I talked to Ryan Krauser just a couple of weeks ago on the Throw Big Throw Far podcast, and Ryan said he's picked up the discus. He's throwing a little bit right now, so maybe he's keeping his options open.
yeah. And again, you can't blame anybody for, if you see someone signing a $10 million a year contract, you go for that money. It'll be really interesting to see, though, if you can learn that sport playing it against people who've been in the business for 10 or 15 years and are really good at it,
Yeah.
Look at Lawrence Okoye. He is a specimen and a great athlete, and he never could hang on to an NFL team. I think sometimes it's just too late. Even if you're only in your 22 or something, or 23, it might be too late to pick up that sport.
67-21 Clemens Proofer, a throw he would have been happy with about 2 weeks ago.
Indeed.
Here's Sam and Mattis, 71-27. He missed that one too. Yeah, he went over the top of that one.
He might be a little emotionally exhausted.
It's hard not to want to just chase.
Sam's been at 2 Olympic Games. He's been in 3 World Championships, 2019, 2022, 2023. He overcame testicular cancer a couple years ago.
This guy's been through the ringer and always the smartest guy in almost every field and one of the kindest guys I've ever met.
Super nice guy.
All right, let's go, Matty Denny.
Oh, you got that one, I think.
That is big. Will it be bigger than his 72-meter throw from round 3? 72-24 is his best today.
Matty, also a pretty good hammer thrower back in the day.
Yeah.
He got
Good golfer.
Is he? Is he a good golfer?
I'm gonna guess that whatever Matty puts his mind to, he's pretty decent
I can
at.
see him smashing a golf ball, that's for sure.
71-78 for Matty Denny.
At the World Under-18 Championships, he won the disc in 2013, got bronze in the hammer. The Commonwealth Games in 2022, he won the disc. In 2018, he got silver in the hammer. A multi-talented dude. Mikolas, I believe, only dabbles in the discus, and he was born to do that, I think we can safely say.
So that 74-meter throw got wiped off the board. It is marked as a foul in round 3, and let's see if he can build.
That might be a little too far down there, right?
He put that way out there. I think it came back in though.
Oh, it did? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
He was leaning. Those of you old enough to remember, like Carlton Fisk trying to wave a home run ball back into fair play for the Boston Red Sox. He was leaning on that.
Serious?
Yeah, he just begging for that thing to come back in. That's the play though. Send it out high and way down the right sector line, and let the wind work it back in. Waiting to see the mark. The laser can't contain it.
Takes a long time for the laser to bounce back from 74, 75 meters.
Maybe. Hold that mark. 75 meters. 75,
Oh,
56.
baby.
You just heard the crowd probably over these cameras. 75-56. Mikolas Alekna has absolutely shattered his own world record.
Now, again, Mo's going to come over and go, you know what? Damn it, if you just use your right leg a little bit more, we're going to get 80. Looks like they came in with a plan to hug that right foul line.
They are hugging it hard.
And they are executing.
75-56. Mikolas Alekna. Unbelievable. Folks at home, that's 247 feet 10 inches. That's worthy of pounds.
How would you like to be sitting at 72.24 and be 3 meters behind?
I'm not putting it past Matty. Denny's got 2 more throws, and I know he has been in such good shape that I'm going to guess he's, I talked to Matty before he was a Olympic medalist, and the thing that struck me about Matty, maybe out of all the people that I've talked to in the throws, is his kind of unwavering belief that he can be the best in the world. Yep. And he thought that 10 years ago and 5 years ago, and he thinks that after throw 1 and after every throw, and I'm certainly he thinks that after seeing Miklos Alekna throw that.
Agreed. That's why he's able to throw those PBs in the Olympics and the World Championships and the Commonwealth Games. There are some people who just don't think about failure.
Alita came in earlier and was talking with you have to have some cockiness, and I corrected her. I said I don't even think it's cockiness. I think it's belief in yourself, and she agreed. But I've never heard Matty be cocky. I've only heard him believe in what he's capable of doing, and I think that is what separates him from so many other throwers. But Miklos Alekna today is putting his foot on the metal and saying, this is my home turf.
He is putting on a show. And, folks, this is not even the end of the show. We got a whole another flight full of fantastic discus.
Yeah, and I hope that folks will stick around on the live stream to watch this group B. Merrick Barta, Stephen Richter, Lalasan Durion, Joseph Brown, Connor Bell, Mika Sosna, and Marcus Gustafson. We've got multiple 70-meter throwers in round B coming up, or in section B. So we're not done yet. These guys have 2 more throws.
The wind on Miklos' 75-meter throw was 6.3 meters per second, as opposed to 5.1 on his earlier world record of the competition. So he got a little bit more help from the wind on that one.
Claudio Romero's, that's a foul in round 5. He's at 69.65 in 7th place.
The thing I'll never forget about Claudio is when we were at the Eugene World Championships. He had won the NCAA championships, 6 weeks earlier, let's say. And he was at the warm-up field, and we were kind of hanging around. He finished his throws. He was walking by, and I said, "Hey, Claudio, good luck, this week." And he just looked at me and basically said, "I haven't got a chance." And you could tell he had completely lost his confidence. And I don't know why, after, being NCAA champion just a few weeks earlier, but this is the first time I've seen him look like that same guy that was NCAA champion in 2022.
Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're probably right.
Indeed. That's what they say.
That does not look to be an improvement for Lawrence Okoye. We'll wait for the number as we work through round 5. Lawrence Okoye, 66.37. Again, his PB today, 70 meters 76, is good for 5th place currently.
Look at that guy and tell me if you'd want to block him. He was a defensive tackle when he was, trying to hang on in the NFL. But even with those physical qualities of his, he couldn't. He was just a marginal player.
Clemens Proof for 71.01 is his best of the day. That's going to be a foul.
That looked like a nice throw, but it looked like, he fouled it at the front a bit.
Sam Mattis, 71.27.
Sam is a shockingly flexible dude for a man so muscular, wouldn't you say? The way he winds that disc.
That looks good.
He's got giant rubber muscles.
And it's hard to tell from this angle, but that looked like he started it down the right sector line and ended up closer to the left sector line.
Is it fair when a guy has giant muscles and a giant brain?
It's unfair.
I feel that's not fair.
It's unfair for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Not an improvement for Sam. He's still got one more throw.
See if Maddie can respond now to that giant 75-56.
So here's Matty Denny. That's big. That's really big. That's really, really big. That's the throw Matty was looking for today.
The crowd liked it, Coach.
I think I like it too. I want to see what that mark is.
Do you want me to help you get started ripping that shirt off, or no?
I don't know if anyone's ready for that.
You don't want to hold off? Hey, Frederick, take your seat. We got to start doing some stuff.
There's a 74-meter throw from Matty Denny. 74-78.
Oh, my.
That's an improvement over his best throw ever and would have been an improvement over the world record until Michalos Alekna had something to say about that earlier. We have seen the two best throws in world history today here at the World Invitational at Throwtown Ramona as Matty Denny goes 74-78 in round 5. Special.
Outstanding. Who do you think Nick Percy's rooting for right now? Because if Matt and his final throw can take back the world record and keep it, Nick Percy's got to shave his head.
That's true. Here's Alekna.
But in this weather, that might not sound like a bad thing.
I don't think that is an improvement. So the two best throws in world discus history, my friends, are 75-56 by Michalos Alekna and 74-78 by Matthew Denny. And they both happened here today, and we've got another round of action.
Insane. And you can see it coming, Coach. Connor Bell, who's in the next flight, was in here earlier, and he could barely contain himself.
He was ready to throw
Yes.
a few hours ago. The wind today has discus throwers salivating.
Excited. Come on, Frederick. Come on, we got to get that 67-50.
Another good throw. Consistent in the first 3 rounds, but 2 fouls. Let's see if he can improve here in round 6. 66-33 seems to be the only one who didn't get in on the action here.
He just never quite caught one.
So that is not an improvement for Frederick. 75-76. 65-16. I
Got
don't know what I'm
75
saying.
on the brain.
Yeah, my bad.
Here's Henrik.
65-16.
Henrik would really like to get 70.
That looks smooth.
He threw it in the right direction based
Yeah.
on what other guys have done.
He's looked so good in the ring. Round 2, he looked odd, but every other throw, I think he's looked really good today. Good form. 69-64 is his best. His series right now, 68-43. That foul in round 2, 69-26, 69-94, 64-38 in round 5, and now 66-79. A really fantastic series for Henrik and a new PB, 69-94.
with a nice PB.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it'll be interesting summer in Germany to see how these gents sort themselves out and who ends up in Tokyo. Still have a couple Germans in the next flight, Mika, Steven Richter, so stay tuned.
Claudia building 69-65 is his best mark today. A PB for him.
Big day for Claudio. Hopefully this is a sign that he's back. He's got some confidence and he's found his.
You know, we were talking about this with Loggy. Like, we're just rooting for like these athletes that are so capable to find consistency, find some big throws, find some confidence. So the most fun thing is not necessarily rooting for any one thrower. It's just seeing incredibly great competitions, and so you want these talented athletes to have a chance to be their best.
Yeah, and getting that qualifier, that automatic qualifier, opens up so many possibilities for them.
It does.
So good job, Claudio.
He's got that 69-65.
So does this man.
70-76 for Lawrence Okoye. Can he build
Also
on
played
his
rugby.
PB?
If this guy came sprinting at you holding a rugby ball, what are you doing?
I'm going as far away in the opposite direction.
Fetal position, maybe?
I'm hoping he slips.
Lawrence, again, not known for his consistency, but he's really holding it together today.
Okay, so let's just walk through his
Really
series. 70-76 in round 1 was incredible. 68-99, 65-77, 66-37, And another good throw.
And none in the
Round
cage, I
6.
want to say.
66.81 for Okoye. So he will finish the day in 5th place at 70.76. And like we said before, thanks to the kindness of Don Milliken, all these gentlemen are going to be getting some prize money.
Going to be going home with some cash.
But currently, right now, Maddie Denny and Mikolas Alekna have some unsettled business. We're going to see Clemens Prüfer, 71.01.
Hey, is that a German
big.
record, I wonder? 7101? Robert never threw that far. I'm not sure about Lars. Oh, what am I talking about? Jürgen Schultz. What am I talking about? Sorry.
You were getting into recent history in your head.
I was. And I'm old enough to remember.
In
Jürgen's record.
Clemens Prüfer's wildest dreams, do you think he came here to the States thinking 71 would be the number?
I think he came here looking to go 70 and looking again to solidify his spot going forward, so to make sure he gets chosen for the team for Tokyo.
71.01 for Clemens Prüfer, an incredible performance. He will finish in 4th place today.
Also probably for the barbecue.
So Sam Mattis is next. Sam Mattis, 71.27. Crowd is behind this
Did we
guy.
mention that Dane Miller is Sam's coach?
Dane Miller, garage strength.
Dane has had a quiet weekend.
Oh, that's a big one, too.
Oh.
Sam might have liked that one better than his 71.27. Let's see. Great series for Sam.
There's Dane right there with his shirt on.
Yeah.
Here's this guy throws 71.
Dane should be ripping his shirt off right now.
Maybe he's growing up. Maybe he's getting old. He's losing his enthusiasm for life. It's possible.
Big thanks to Dane Miller, Garage Strength and Throws University, for providing the financing behind the live stream today. 67-meter throw for Sam Mattis, but he finishes the day with a throw of 71.27, 233 feet 10 inches. Congratulations, Sam Mattis. That's two 70-meter
day.
throws.
Okay, Coach, here we
His
go.
week.
Matt Denny, as we know, as we've said, he's tough under pressure.
He sure is. 74.78, the second best throw in world history.
That was smooth. Oh,
and he likes it.
Okay.
And the crowd likes it. What a competitor.
If I was Nick Percy, I'd be getting some sunblock out because he's going to need it on that freshly shaved dome.
So again, we'll have to practice saying it, but Mikolas Alekna is the current world record holder at 75.56. Maddie Denny, 73.36.
Huge throw.
What
throw.
a fantastic series. This is just incredible. Maddie Denny in the last 3 days, going back to Thursday's competition, has had 11 throws over 70 meters.
That's not so bad.
And he has had 2 throws over 74 meters. 74.78. Here's Mikolas Alekna.
I think Mikolas and I frequent the same tanning salon.
That will not be an improvement, but Mikolas Alekna
What a day. What
has
a
come
day.
back to Throwtown Ramona in the World Invitational and has rebroken his own world record twice today. The opening round, 74.89, was a world record. And in round 4 today, 247 feet 10 inches, 75.56 for the young 22-year-old.
Hey, let me sneak in a quick shout out to Fiber Sport. If you join Fiber Sport on Instagram in the next couple days, you're eligible for a drawing that might get you a rock back bag, an over-the-shoulder backpack. Pretty cool for carrying implements, etc. Also, they're going to give away a couple of Discus bags. So if you follow Fiber Sport in the next couple of days, you can get in on that action.
That is a calmness that you don't usually see on someone who has put a performance like that together, but he's been here before and he's done it before. And
He has. And, Mikola feels nerves. We've seen it in the NCAA meets, in 2023, especially in Texas. He struggled, came in as a huge favorite and finished, I want to say, 3rd or 4th. We saw it at the European Championships this summer, where, again, he came in as a huge favorite, came in as the defending gold medalist. And he just, he was just a little too jacked up, a little too nervous. Something about Ramona that allows him to just control that. I wonder if he had Subway today. Last year, we got him
Subway
some
was
Subway.
Subway was the
Pre-world
meal of
record
choice.
meal. Yeah, I hope he had it today.
You know, yesterday we saw the great Mac Wilkins, Olympic gold medalist, former world record holder. He set 3 world records in one day. Today we see Mikolas Alekna break his own world record twice. And now the world record in the men's discus stands at 75.56 for Mikolas Alekna.
Crazy. And again, stay tuned. Big throws coming. One more round of huge throws.
Thanks for everybody watching. Don't miss Group B. We are going to see more 68, 69, and hopefully 70-meter throws.
Bombs will ensue.
Thanks, Dan McQuaid.
That's a
steady?
I think it's quieting down.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Well, that's it. That's the graphic I was looking for.
Anybody have a spare?
Are we up? Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to one of our great sponsors, Fibersport Discus. If you follow Fibersport on Instagram in the next couple of days, you are eligible for a drawing where you can win one of these rock back bags, these very stylish over-the-shoulder backpacks. You could fit discuses in there. You could fit sandwiches in there. What else does a thrower need?
Shoes?
Some shoes, maybe, a towel, whatever you need, you can fit it in there. A cake from, maybe a nice big chocolate cake. Get on Instagram, follow Fibersport. They're going to do a drawing. There's 12 of these going to be given away, and also 2 discus bags. So I invite you to do that in the next couple of days.
The World Invitational is brought to you by Thrower X and Throws Pro. Thrower X, online resources for throwers and coaches who want to get better. You can follow Thrower X on Instagram or go to throwerx.com and become a Thrower X insider. You'll get free newsletter and access to some of our free resources at Thrower X, or become a member of Thrower X and access all of our online courses for throwers and coaches who want to get better. Also presented by Throws Pro. Equipment you need to throw far, go to throwspro.com. You can follow Scott Kapos on Instagram. Check out all the amazing equipment Throws Pro has for throwers. Coaches, we encourage you to take advantage of the great prices and great throwing implements from Throws Pro. The World Invitational is also brought to you by Roadie Sport. Roadie Sport, no safe throws. Roadie Sport, hammer gloves, and the Evel Tarp. Roadie Sport hammer gloves have won world and Olympic titles, providing a perfect balance of performance and comfort. Gloves worn by Ethan Katzberg. Use the Roadie glove to toss real hammers all year long. And the Evel Tarp Impact Curtain, a revolution in implement capture technology. There is nothing that catches a hammer or shot put like the Evel Tarp. Design your glove and quote your curtain system at roadiesport.com today. Also sponsored by Visit Tulsa. If you have not been to Throwtown Ramona, get yourself to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and go north. And you will arrive at Throwtown Ramona after a short drive. It is quickly becoming the center of the throws universe. Dan and I did a podcast with Caleb Seal from Seal Throwing Club, who works here year-round, delivering great throws training for athletes, mostly youth athletes, high school athletes. But they also offer the Oklahoma Throw Series. The World Invitational is part of the Oklahoma Throw Series. They offer meets all spring, summer long. Check it out at Seal Throwing online and check out the Oklahoma Throw Series if you want to get involved in one of these meets. And if you want to come to the World Invitational next year, I am sure there will be more great throwers from around the world and hopefully more huge throws. A special thanks to Don Milliken. Don Milliken, the field is named after Don. We saw him take out the ceremonial first discus throw before that world record round of throws from Group A. Don is putting up all the prize money here and did so much of the hard work with Caleb Seal to make this a bronze level throwing meet at the World Athletics level, so these competitors can earn world championship points as they work through the world rankings. Obviously, they can hit the world standard. These men are looking for 67.50 to get the world standard, but also on countback, the top 32 in the world will get invited to the World Championships this summer. And so those World Championship points are invaluable, and you earn more points if you throw big and place high at bronze, silver, and gold level meets. Thank you to Don Milliken, Caleb Seal for making the World Invitational happen. World Invitational presented by Thrower X and Throws Pro. They're starting right now.
Hey, welcome back to the Throwtown World Invite. If you missed it, and I hope you didn't, we just had the greatest discus competition in history. Alekna raised the world record to 75.56. Actually, he raised it twice. In the first round, I just lost my spot on my phone, but he went 74 plus to
74.89.
to advance his record from last year. Then he raised it in the fourth round, 75.56, and Matty Denny, 74.78. So Matty Denny snuck in with the second best throw in history.
Second best performer ever. Mikolos has 2 throws better than that now, and he's set the world record 3 times. But Matty Denny, not to be lost in this, has 11 throws over 70 meters in the last 2 meets he's competed at, and 2 throws over 74 meters. We witnessed the 2 best discus throwers in world history this week at Throwtown Ramona. And not to be outdone, but Sam Mattis, 71.26. I got some clarity on that. The American record, there's a lot of fog around that.
Indeed.
The former American record holder, or current American record holder, or however you want to look at it, Ben Plunkett, it's not the tidiest world American record or national record. Steroids and testing positive. So Sam Mattis might have had the best clean throw in American history. Clemens Proofer, 71.01. And Lawrence Okoye, also over 70 meters, 70.76. Henrik Jensen, 6th place for 69.94. Claudio Romero Beltran, 69.66 for 7th. And Frederick Dagers, unfortunately, the only thrower that could really struggle to put his round together. And talked with Frederick afterwards, and he just didn't have it today. And that's the mark of a real pro. Frederick has been around and has thrown incredible throws. He's a 70-meter thrower himself, but 66.33 for Frederick Dagers. We are joined
Guys, how we doing?
by the great coach Moatara, University of California, Mikolos Alekna's coach. What's up, Mo?
Hey guys, doing pretty damn good.
So we just had a chance to talk to Mikolos before this started, and what was the talk going into this? How's training been going, and was there a plan coming into today?
Training's been going really well. Just getting going, step by step. You always be patient, keep building up, and he's been doing really great in practice. So we're getting real stable with everything. Training, getting the training numbers stabilized, getting the work in. So this season being such a long year, the World's been in September, we're taking more of a long-term approach to things. So he's refreshed and ready to go. And a couple of weeks ago, we decided, okay, let's go to Oklahoma because he loves throwing here. So we got a little bit ready for it. It was really great. So it worked out really well. He had a great day. So
I was surprised.
What else can you ask for?
I was surprised to see you guys on the entry list because we talked, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and it sounded like you probably were going to skip it.
Yeah.
What changed your mind?
Well, we just what we did was we started just looking at training and see where he's at with the training and what's his reaction to the training and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we started looking at that, and we said, okay, if your training's going up really good, we'll do it. If it's not, we need to do more work, we'll just stay and do more work. No pressure, that type of situation. So
Okay.
it started. Let's see, so March and April has been really good. So we said, okay, you know what? Let's go have fun, see what we can
have
do.
a good time.
Have a good time, and
Yeah.
what we can do.
Stephen Richter says, we're not done yet, my friends. He's at 69.11 with his first throw in this Group B discus competition.
Holy cow.
Mo-
That German group is lighting it up.
They sure are. Mo, we talked a little bit about after the throw. I said, so much talk with some of the throwers in and around this competition this week. Throwers talking about, release angle and doing things differently. But you said that wasn't really the plan, just execute a regular throw, not try to overthink it.
Yeah, always just, I think the best approach is to throw your throw. Don't change anything.
Yeah.
Do what you've been, do what works and stay with it. And, you keep repeating throws and you'll start going. So that was our approach. We weren't trying to do anything different or special or anything else. Just whatever we've been working on in training. Stabilize, movement, stabilize technique, rhythm, that kind of stuff. Stay with it and see what we can do. So that's been this approach, anyways. Always. Just
Yeah. Looked like you
stable,
guys were working
solid.
the right foul line, but we asked Mikolas, and he said that wasn't intentional.
No. That's
where the discs were
that
going.
was just a little. He was a little rushy at the end.
Uh-huh.
You get excited, obviously, when you
Right.
something like that, right?
Right.
So he was a little bit excited, and got a little bit too much on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall it was great throwing. His spacing was great across the circle. Really great rhythm, obviously. A lot of good
Yeah.
stuff. So. I mean, can't blame the guy. You get
No.
excited when you hit a big throw
Right.
like that,
How did he look in warm-ups? It was hard to tell from here.
Like normal, just normal warm-ups and loose throws, and just set up the movement, set up your rhythm, get the tempo right, and just stabilize everything and feel comfortable in the circle. That's basically what we work on.
It was just so impressive to see him walk in on that first throw and smash that thing. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
He's been having great training, so he's been really excited to kind of
Yeah.
show what's up. We had our opener last week at home. It was a little bit late, so it wasn't great conditions. I think I saw somebody online say something about it was windy. It was a tailwind and stuff, but he was just like, hey, let's get some reps in. He had 2 throws over 70 last week,
Right.
and really good series. So it was pretty good
So-
job for the time. So we were pretty happy.
Mo, I have a question that I don't know the answer to. I've done a lot of coaching, but I've never had this opportunity. When someone breaks the world record on throw one, you've got 5 throws ahead. What do you tell that kid hey, you really missed this? You look at that technique and saying, we should do this a lot better next time. What the hell are you doing in there?
Something like that. You just stick to your guns.
your cues.
Whatever you've been doing,
Yeah.
stick to it. Don't change anything. Just keep executing the plan over and over again, and something special will happen. Something more special, I guess you could say. So.
We talked about this during the live competition, but one of the things that I've been most impressed with, even when he was younger, he's still young, 22, but he's just so even keeled. There's no real highs or lows about good throws or bad throws. Does that allow him to kind of continue it in a competition? He mentioned that, having Matty Denny in that competition had him laser focused, but I've never seen him get very excited for big throws, and I've never seen him be too disappointed in bad throws.
That's his personality, and we'll come out. I think we had a guy come and watch practice one time, and we don't really talk too much during practice, and he's like, Are you mad at these guys? I'm like, no, that's just the way he is. He's just hey, take a throw. What did I do? What didn't I do? Look at it a little bit, go back in, repeat, and that's the way he is. Mainly just keep everything the same as what you do in practice. That's what you practice for is competition. So just
Yeah.
keep everything.
Mika Sosna 67-77 in his opening round throw. Joseph Brown 65-42. They're all chasing Steven Richter at 69-11.
Mo, I got to tell you, we're sitting here on the monitor and we're watching Mikolas talk to you between rounds, and I was a little bit jealous because last year it was me he came to between
because
rounds.
I couldn't be out here.
You're on the other end of the phone. Yeah. And at one point last year during the competition, I walked over to my wife and I said, "Does it look like I'm coaching Mikolas?" And she said, "Yeah, it does." I was like, "Good." So this year I was revealed as the fraud that I am.
You could have come by and stood there. We just we talk about the same stuff we always talk about.
Yeah.
Whatever it is we're working on at that particular time.
Uh-huh.
And just keep working the same things, and
Mo, we talked with Mikolas about how he hasn't won an NCAA title. He's got one more shot this year. Is that a special day on your calendar, or how are you guys going to approach that?
I mean, we're going to approach it like we do every other meet. I know he really loves throwing in Eugene. He loves throwing in
good.
Hayward. He loves that place. So he's really excited about that, that kind of stuff. So I think he's got a good mind for it this year. So
That'll be a great competition with Ralford Mullins.
Mullins is there. There's a lot of great guys in the NCAA right now.
Yeah.
You get a little overshadowed, but man, there's a lot of really good guys. I don't know how many guys over 63 right now. It's a really nice group. It's a super group.
Yeah. And he's going to graduate this.
Yeah, he's gonna get his degree. So in May actually, the week after conference, he got the graduation. So
That's an amazing accomplishment. No
Mo,
blow-off classes at Cal, right?
no. We don't play around.
Mo, you have obviously you have a job at Cal to coach college throwers, but you also coach Cameron Rogers, other pros. How do you juggle that duality between the pros and your college athletes?
I think people always want to have some kind of a complicated answers. Like there's some, but everybody does the same thing. Everyone, we all train the same. And mainly for us, with the schedules and everything, is the time management is the big key in there. But other than that, I write the training and we organize everything, and everyone knows what they're doing, and we'll have meetings and things like that. Like I'm sure other coaches do the same stuff, so we do that stuff, and everybody just knows what their roles are and what needs to be done. And I've been really blessed with a great group. I mean, all of them, from the freshmen all the way to the elite, super elite guys and girls. It's been great. So everyone just works together and just move forward. And it's a team effort. So it's
And
really
then
cool.
another factor in your coaching of Mikolas is you've worked closely with Mattis, his coach back in Lithuania. And you guys,
Mattis is a great guy and really super coach. So I'd say he's one of the best coaches in the world. He has a really good mind for developing athletes and training and these kind of things. And so our training approach is very similar. It's pretty much the same. So it's been really seamless. Work together really well. And Mattis has this thing he does. He says one team, one dream. So
yeah.
it's been really cool to have that. So it's great.
In the ring, we've got two big improvements. 66.83 for Merrick Barta. Fantastic throw. I think that's his PR. And also, Steven Richter has improved in round 2. He went from 69.11 to 69.61. He's sneaking up on the 70-meter barrier.
That is indeed a PR for Merrick Bart. Coach, when Mikolas graduates and moves on, do you foresee your collaboration with Mattis continuing?
I think so. We'll work together. We talk a lot, so just kind of keep it rolling. I think it's been good.
Yeah.
Don't change something that ain't broke.
Don't fix it. It's good. So just keep on moving along.
And then you start recruiting the sister?
We'll see. It's down the line. NCAA rules, you can't talk about recruiting. So.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to Coach Frontier here.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No pressure on her, right? The dad, double Olympic champion. The brother.
I think overall they have a really good mindset about sport.
They have good heads on their shoulders.
It's sport, so you don't want to make it bigger than it is.
Joseph Brown opened with 65.42. Great opener for him.
So you caught one.
That's bigger.
Caught a big one.
That's a nice throw.
Mo, what's your take on the I'm going to call it the controversy of, is it legit to come to Ramona and throw far in the wind, or what?
I got an interesting take on it for you
Let's
guys.
hear it.
So I've been super blessed and fortunate to have talked to LJ Sylvester, Rink Babka. He lived in the Bay Area. I come out and watch our meets when he was around still, and I've talked to a bunch of old throwers, the German guys, and everybody. And I mean, people have been doing this since the '60s.
Right.
So I think people want to say controversy or any that kind of stuff, but if you put these guys in the stadium, they'll still throw within a couple of meters. Right. So I mean, I think it's great to have this for the sport. Get some excitement going. Get some great performances. I mean, what they've done here at Ramona has been really special, outstanding stuff. So it's super nice, and it's great for the sport. I think it's great. I think controversies and things like that. You got to understand something. When these guys are throwing this far, not everyone can do this.
Right.
And you have to be absolutely the amount of work that goes into it, and you have to be blessed with great talents and a great mind to be able to organize things and do things as an athlete. And the coaching system has to be just right. Everything has to be put together. So it's not just anybody can come on and throw far.
Yep.
There's a Iranian proverb my parents used to tell me. It's like it says, it's not every goat's job to till the soil. You need a strong ox and an experienced man. You know what I mean? That's an old saying. So you gotta. I think the controversy is
Mika Sosna is skipping out of the ring.
Mika looks like he caught one. Let's see.
In his round
He threw
2
70
throw.
on Thursday.
70.05 on Thursday. Is that an improvement?
70-01.
There's another 70 meter throw, his second of his career. Congratulations, Mika Sosna. Man,
Coach, how are you going to replace Mikolas on that squad?
It's the ones that I think is a generational talent. You just keep working what we're doing and just keep going. I think and just be.
Can you tell again? We talked about it before. Of your first impression of him when he first got to campus.
It's funny because he came straight from World U20s.
Okay.
69 meters, and he showed up, and then I'm all, hey, take a couple of weeks, get acclimated, and we go out to Richmond Field Station for our fall practice because soccer's in our stadium, and then we have vans that go back and forth. He just showed up. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, no, I just want to come throw a little bit. I'm like, listen, take some time off. And he said, no, I'm going to throw. So came and started throwing, and it was fun to watch him. It was like, it wasn't as physically developed and stuff, but you could see like this is some really special kid and did some really cool stuff. So,
what was his special talent that you could see at that time?
He can throw. I think if you
throwing things.
anything, you give him, just pick an implement or whatever, he'll throw it. Kettlebells, shots, weight, whatever you want, he'll throw it. He's very good at throwing and explosive stuff. And his jumping is crazy. So, he has a very, very explosive, good nervous system. I mean, but the most important thing I think for him is that he understands what he needs to do in the throw, which is really special.
Yeah, yeah.
Because not like understanding like a biomechanist or a coach or whatever, but as an athlete, like, how do I do it? What do I do? How do I want to put it together? I think that's super special. I don't know if there's been too many people ever that have been able to have that kind of mind. So that's really, really, really great to work with.
And the word is that, when he came here, his dad asked you to please not lift him too heavy too soon.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. If you look at the development of a lot of athletes, throwers, and everybody gets a little bit too enamored with the weight room numbers. In my view, weight room numbers are pretty easy to get.
Yeah.
And I think people will say no, but it's hard work, but it's not the same kind of work as throwing.
Right.
Throwing is hard work. You want to put a foot on your stand throw or get a movement right or something. That's really hard work.
Right.
Weight room is just grinding out, and I think if you it's sort of like, think about it like, let's say you get your allowance per day. So let's say somebody gives you $10 allowance a day. You can spend that money on something really good or waste it. I think it's important to keep the energy in the where you get the most return on your investment, which is, in my opinion, and you work on your throw, develop that, and learn how to throw it at a really good intensity. And if you do that, then that's your big training of the day, and you go in the weight room, work on qualities that you want to have as a thrower, which are not the same as qualities you want to have as a weightlifter or power, power or something like that. I think obviously, if you talk about like a shot putter or something like that, that's a little bit different, right? Because then you don't have the leverage system and that kind of stuff with the shot. You're at a disadvantage. But with the discus, I think it's very important to build things around the throw. So. We do work in the weight room. We do a lot of stuff and that kind of thing, but we don't overemphasize. Everything's we try to maintain balance.
Right.
Balance between all the training aspects, so that the throw is the centerpiece of the training. So and that was a big thing. Don't go too hard too soon. You accumulate injuries, those kind of things, and once you get into that situation, and there's been a lot of great throwers that have pushed one side or another side, and it doesn't end up well. So we've just been like, okay, we have a lot. I mean, he's a young guy, so he has a long time if he wants to keep going. Yeah. And just build that up. So
he's 22 right now.
Yeah, 22. He's a baby. Discus throwers. I mean, most of these guys are going to be in their 30s and that kind of thing to get to the peak. So you have plenty of time. And the one thing I've known, just like like you said, working with Cameron and some of the other people that I've worked with, is I think being strong. Being able to lift heavy and all that stuff. It's kind of like part of your package of abilities that goes with the talent of throwing far.
Right.
It's not something you're chasing. It's just part of it. But yeah, pushing up too much on different things. I think is a good idea. You have to be balanced.
It's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk. You get risk reward. You got to think about that. So that's big.
Mo, I got one last question for you. If you had to narrow all of what Mikolos does well, could you narrow it down to one? Like, this is really his best attribute. This is the one thing that I would say that makes him special, or has helped made him special.
I think it's two things that go together. It's his rhythmic movement and his elasticity. Those are the big, huge things. Those are the two things that really set him apart from everybody else.
It was certainly fun to watch today.
Fantastic.
Moatara, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your insights behind the scenes, man. You pulled the curtain back for us. Thank you.
A little bit, yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thanks
you guys.
so much, man. Congratulations.
Great guys. Thank you. Thank you.
To be continued. We'll talk again.
Thank you.
We'll see you later tonight, I think.
I hope so, yeah.
Okay, great.
Good.
Thanks, man.
All right, we're catching you up on our Group C, Section C of the men's discus. We are in round 3 here, and here is Miko Sosna. He's already gone over 70 meters. Our 6th man over 70 meters today.
Piece of cake.
Another good throw from Mika. Steven Richter is at 69.61, his countryman from Germany. That makes 11 men over 68 meters today and 6 men over 70 meters.
You underestimated.
I would have bet on the over. I set the over under. I would have bet on the I'm not a betting man, but It has been a special day here at Throwtown Ramona. The legend grows.
The legend grows. Great to see Mika finding it again. He just went 69.25.
Great backup throw. I mean,
Great backup throw. I was shocked when he threw 70 on Thursday because he'd arrived the night before, and he had no chance to shake off the jet lag. But he found that 70 meter the other night, and it's great to see him matching it today. Marcus just went from a stand.
yeah.
So we've been kind of going back and forth on this. Do you have to have a mark to get your 6 throws?
So there's 9 men in this flight. So I'm wondering if you just needed a mark to get to be. I don't know what the rule is on that.
He must think he's got to just get something on the board.
I would ask the official before I did that, but
Yeah.
we won't mention his mark, but he has a mark now. How about that?
Okay.
Instead of saying his measurement, we'll just
And
say
if
he has a mark.
Yeah, if it gets him 6, awesome.
Here's the Italian Alessio Manici.
He had a great day on Thursday, 65.60 PB.
Yeah, and he's out to 64.71 today.
And again, this is the kind of day where a guy like Alessio starts thinking, hey, maybe I can get that world standard, huh?
Why not? I mean, so many of these guys are taking advantage of the wind, and not everybody. This is a skill in and of itself. I think there's pressing, there's pressure. We had a great talk with Valerie Allman last night.
Yes.
And her coach, Zeb Sion, after the competition. Almost everyone was gone, and Dan and I had some time to chat. And, there's some pressure that comes along with this place, and I think Val had stayed away last year. Their focus was throwing in stadiums, warming up like you're preparing for a world championship or Olympic Games, and that has served her so well. She is a 2-time gold medalist, and there's no question that was the right answer. But I think another part of it, she said, was just there's some pressure. What if you come here, and you don't throw the big throw when everyone's expecting it?
The only one that doesn't get a good
And
throw.
so there is some pressure that people feel. Now, Valerie, with an abundance of authority, ripped that Band-Aid off, and I think that is no longer a fear for her as she threw enormous throws yesterday, and 73.52, which is the 5th best throw in world history on the women's side, and probably the clean world record.
I would say.
But to say the least, I'm sure there are some of these athletes that are really feeling pressure. They spend their own money to come here.
Oh, yeah.
This is their only chance this weekend. Many of the pros have the financing. They'll come for a few weekends, come for multiple meets, but not everybody can do that. And so there's probably a little bit of pressure. And then you also got to fly the discus.
Absolutely. I'm so impressed with Mikolas. Last year, he was brought here to take a whack at the world record. No pressure, huh? He walks in, boom, does it. This year, same thing. Brought in to duel with Denny for the world record. Doesn't blink. Goes in on his first throw, gets it, extends it even farther later. Hey, real quick before we continue this conversation, I want to remind you about the Fiber Sport giveaway. Follow Fiber Sport on Instagram, and you're eligible for a drawing for Rockback over-the-shoulder backpacks. We'll show you a picture of those again before the broadcast is over, but they are really cool. I think you could fit about 15 pies in there and a pair of throwing shoes, so they're perfect for throwers. Also, they're going to give away 2 discus bags, so go ahead and follow Fiber Sport on Instagram within the next 2 days.
Also follow Roadie Sport. We've been talking about the Roadie Sport Shop-It Glove, the Roadie Sport wrist supports and Roadie straps, and also their hammer gloves and the Evoltarp, which they are the exclusive carrier of the Evoltarp. If you need an impact curtain for your indoor training space, check out roadiesport.com. Also, thank you to Visit Tulsa for being a sponsor of the Throw Big Throw Far podcast. And the World Athletics World Invitational at Throwtown Ramona is presented by Thrower X and Throws Pro. If you have not followed Scott Capos on Instagram, please do, and follow Thrower X as well. Scott Capos is going to unlock all your equipment needs with Throws Pro. Go to throwspro.com and check out all the equipment you need to throw far. And Thrower X, online resources for coaches and throwers who want to get better. Here's Marcus Gustafson, a gentleman that has recently surpassed the 70-meter mark, and someone, Dan McQuaid, my good friend Dan McQuaid, sitting right next to me all weekend long, coached in high school.
I'm so proud of this guy. He threw 144 feet for me in high school. If he'd had a decent coach, I think he'd have been a little better.
You were holding him back?
Yeah, he came out late. I told the story on the podcast that Joe posted with Marcus just a week or so ago. But, he came out late, and he wasn't 100% sold on track. He was more of a football guy. but he went to Concordia St. Paul. He was coached initially by Sean Donnelly, then later on by Lena Baker. And she brought out those coaches brought out the best in him, got him the reps he needed so that he could control that fantastic engine that he has. And he just kept at it. Huge breakthrough last year, placed 6th at the Olympic trials, in a great Olympic trials, through 65 meters there. This year opened at 70 meters at a meet at Texas Christian University. You don't see it on World Athletics because not all the college meets go through the process of getting certified. So he broke the 70-meter barrier. He backed it up just the other day with 68.39. So we'll see. I know he's looking for something a little more than 63.32, but whatever the case may be, just the fact that this guy is a world-class discus thrower is a huge, huge story. Alessio, again, had a huge day Thursday. He's a big dude, and he's finally coming into his own. His season best was only 61.60 until Thursday. He went out to 65.60. Today's 64.71 from round 2. But it's the kind of day where, you can hope for the huge one, and it would be great for him to get that 67.50 qualifier. We got the World Championships in Tokyo looming. Makes a big difference for these folks to get that qualifier. Juhalo Lasson. He threw 64.79. Congratulations. Fantastic job. He threw 64.79 on Thursday. His all-time personal best, 66.66. He's 33 years old, and again, he's here for one reason. Try to get that 67.50 mark. So far today, his best is 65.02, so he's got to catch one in his next 2 rounds. Joe Brown shocked everybody at the Olympic trials last year, stealing a spot on that Olympic team. A great snappy dresser and a very chill dude. Joe came in with a PB 67.82 from Ramona last year. He went 66.50 on Thursday, so he's another guy looking for that 67.50. It's a lot more comfortable to go into the U.S. championships with that number.
It's so important for these guys, and Joe is the perfect example of that. Got the qualifying mark, and it's men's shot put in the U.S. probably the hardest team to make in the entire world, maybe in any event. But you go into the world or the Olympic trials or the World Championship trials at U.S., everyone's got the mark for shot put.
Yep.
And then it's just about who does it that day. And if you don't have the mark, it really changes the day. It pressurizes the day in a different way. And so once you have that mark, and not just for the U.S. guys, but for these other guys too, fighting for spots to represent their country, it makes a big difference.
Indeed it does. There's Mark Barta, 32 years old. He came in with a PB of 65.46, but he broke that 66.83. So he's got 2 more shots. No, that was his 4th. No, yeah, 2 more shots to again try to boost that season's best, personal best, up to 67.50.
So Steven Richter, 69.11 and 69.61, as these 2 Germans battle it out for this Group B title. Oh, he's yelling at that one. I don't know if that was it.
He's feeling it today.
Yeah, 2
His season's
huge
best
throws.
was 64.47. He's coached by Sven Lang in Chemnitz, Germany, and Sven Lang is one of those old school German coaches.
Been around a long time.
I asked Steven if Sven was a hard ass, and Steven's English is good enough where he said, well, yes, he is. But even a hard ass German coach. He's got to be happy with this. 2 over 69 meters.
So close to 70 meters, though. I'm sure he'll be looking for some
Mika.
magic in his last two. Mika Sosa's having a week here and a great day. 69.25 in round 3, but 70.01, his second 70-meter throw in his career, first of which was Thursday. He just looks to be in good shape. Rush that one a little.
Yeah, rushed it. Hey, want to give a shout out to Mika's little brothers back at home. I hope you're watching, Maddie and Miro, and his mom, Michaela. One of the reasons that Mika is my wife's favorite discus thrower is he listens to his mom, coach. A crazy, unusual approach, huh? He said that he wanted to get an Olympic tattoo to celebrate making the Olympics last June, and his mom said, no, don't do that. And he listened.
I'm sure he'll ask again if he makes the Olympic team in 2028.
And she'll say no, and he'll still listen. Because he doesn't want to get in trouble with my wife either.
All right, Marcus.
69.25, it looked like he missed it.
That is incredible because, yeah, I thought he rushed that one a little bit. Another good throw from Mika Sosna.
That looks better for Marcus. Not many people have been working that left foul line.
Stayed in. 63.32 was his round 4 throw. He's trying to build off of that. Connor Bell was one of the guys just the most excited about this wind, and he just hasn't been able to find a throw quite yet. Maybe too much pressure, or maybe he just wanted it too bad, or all that energy.
He was
of
so
excitement.
excited. Oh, my gosh. What
One-
time was that?
It was hours ago, and,
Yeah.
and I think it is. Sometimes you get excited, and then you got to wait, and then you got to wait.
Yup.
You got to kind of manage that emotion, manage that excitement. There's Lagi Tasaga giving Marcus some feedback on
She
his
might
throw.
be coach of the, her and Alita are coaches of the week.
They're busy, man. They're busy.
Oh, Mika's last one, excuse me, was 64.84. I misspoke. So he did kind of miss that one.
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit. What did Marcus get there?
62 something, 62.18.
Yeah, he's a little. Marcus had broke his foot last year, and at this time a year ago, he was still in a boot. He got out of that boot and made a charge at the Olympic trials to make the team. But I think it acts up every once in a while. He's not moving like he did
That
on
one flew
Thursday.
better for Connor. I hope he likes it. Doesn't
Connor.
look like as far as some of the big throws from this group. And I haven't heard from Christoph Kipp about where we're at with wind. If
It
the
does
wind-
seem like it's died down
a little quieter than it was.
Yeah.
And those of you wondering, 2 technical things we can share with you. Caleb Seal, who's in charge of this facility, decided to switch the Group A to the 1:30 time slot because that's when the wind was going to be the best. And those guys were put in Flight A not by random choice, but by world ranking. So that was the top 8 guys who had descended on Throwtown Ramona this week. And so that's how the seating was set up. So unfair or fair, you could call foul, but that's what it was based on, is world ranking. That's how those were set up. And Caleb wanted to give that those Group A guys, those guys that had earned the top world rankings, the best shot at the best win of the day. So I think it might be slowing down. And the other thing, we talked about this during Group A, but the laser system, Kara Winger was telling me about this, is the EDM Total Station. It's certified laser. It's what World Athletics uses for their meets. Why you don't see like a steel tape being pulled out after a world record to verify. Laser shoots it twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not sure on that. Verifies the distance. If they get the same number, the world record. That's the first step in ratifying a world record, is to have the distance and verify it with the correct measuring system. Then we got to get the implement rechecked and shoes and all
They
sorts of
send the
things.
shoes to Switzerland, I think, right?
Now, an interesting thing about last year, and Don Milliken was telling me about this, they only had to send one,
Oh, right.
and that's a good thing because they lost the shoe that the shoe that was sent was lost and has not been found.
It's out there somewhere.
Bonus, they had the second shoe, and then that second shoe was actually used to certify. Now, the fact that they're certifying throwing shoes is ridiculous.
Indeed.
Some of these energy return shoes that the distance runners are using, I understand it. But I
Right.
don't know what advantage you could get out of a throwing shoe
Yeah.
that would cause it illegal. I think everything that Nike, Velasa, Asics, who am I missing? Adidas, Puma, some of the throwing shoes that we've seen in this competition. All of them would always meet certification. But anyway, those are the rules. We
And that
play
goes
by them.
back a few years when you were at the Olympic trials in 21 and you saw Ryan break that world record. He felt like he was capable in qualification of breaking it.
Took his damn shoes away.
He knew that he would have to hand over his shoes and not wear those shoes for the final. So he kind of dialed back. I think he stayed with his static technique, knowing that he could maybe break the world record if he went to his full windup, which he did later that evening.
I'm
But
sure Ryan could get multiple pairs of the same equally broken in shoes, courtesy of his sponsor Nike, if he needed to. But
I don't know if you got a favorite pair of shoes.
that was before Ryan Krauser was Ryan Krauser.
Eric Barta.
So here we go. We're getting into round
Beat already today.
the end of round 5 here.
66.83 PB for him in round 2. The wind is for sure diminished now. It doesn't sound like this shed is going to fall over anytime.
It was a perfect day. Warm, the warmest day we've had during the 4-day World Invitational by far, but also the windiest during the peak wind hours, which happened to coincide with that Group A Discus today.
Steven's been over 69 twice. Oh, he fouled that one. Another nice throw. He's really feeling it. He was a little disappointed on Thursday. He only went like 63.89. Not bad, but not what he came to America for. Today he got his money's worth. 69.11 round 1, 69.61 round 2. Pretty good. Pretty good. Here's Mika again.
70.01 today, 70.05 on Thursday.
Another nice throw, but not quite in the 70-meter range, I don't believe. Mika lives and throws in Hamburg. Made the Olympics last year, made the final at the European Championships. He needs to go back to Europe and just start stacking up 63, 64-meter throws all over the place. Oh, that was 68.01.
That's a nice throw.
That's a really nice throw because you can see from those flags that wind is nothing crazy. Back to Marcus. Marcus is the kind of guy who, as a coach, you just wish you could put him in a box and display him to all your athletes because he's bigger and more powerful than anybody you meet practically, and he is also one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And it's hard on young guys, they, for whatever reason, they think they have to act like a jerk, they have to be mean or bullying to show that they're really, men, I guess. But boy, you meet someone like Marcus, and he's the way you want your kids to grow up, a true gentleman. And I'm forgetting to tell you, give a shout out to his dog. Hold on, Marcus's dog. Come on, it's his last throw. Lane, named after the city of Coeur d'Alene, where Marcus met Shelby Frank, his girlfriend,
That's beautiful.
who was a fine thrower right now for Texas Tech. So Lane, hope you're watching. Hope your master brings some nice treats home for you. I feel bad for Connor. Here's Connor. What a great story. He gets off the plane. I think he got off the plane Thursday or Wednesday night. He had 3 hours sleep before the competition. He had traveled 17 hours.
Amazing.
Throw 68 meters. Now, you know what? This is interesting because I've heard that with jet lag, you got two choices. You either got to fly in and compete before it hits you, or you got to be there one day for every hour differences. So I wonder if he's just in the middle of jet lag here.
It's very possible. Like there's that window where a couple days from now it might feel great, and he might not even notice it today, but it's very possible.
It just looks that way, right? He just looks like he's low on energy, and he is not a low energy dude. Great job by the rather large Italian. Now here's Juha Loloson. No, not a good finish, but Juha posted a 65.02 in round 3, which is
That's a nice.
season's best.
That's a nice throw for him.
He looks like he's been enjoying a lot of crepes. Or do you call them flat pancakes, like in Talladega Nights?
Thin pancakes.
sorry.
Thin. All pancakes are flat. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong.
I'm not old or tired. Thin pancakes. They're just thin pancakes.
I'm going to give Dan the benefit of the doubt. He did the lefty discus on Thursday all by himself because I hadn't landed yet.
It was a trial. Coach.
And that night
It
we
was a trial.
had men's. We had a men's open discus. We had a women's open discus. That's 3. The following day we had javelin and hammer, men's and women's. So that's 7 competitions. Yesterday we had the men's shot and 3 women's competitions. Actually, 2 men's shots. That's 5.
It blurs
4
together
more
after
competitions
a while.
today. It's a lot of broadcasting, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed these live streams.
What is your favorite Will Ferrell movie, Coach?
My favorite Will Ferrell movie?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a great question. Can't go wrong with Elf.
Oh, that's solid. That is solid.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. I really enjoy Will Ferrell's Saturday Night Live repertoire. If we could do a top 10 listing, more cowbell probably leads the list.
I'm going to stick with Talladega Nights. Shake and bake.
His Jeopardy Alex Trebek host is always entertaining when he was on Saturday Night Live. But we digress.
I think you and I are kind of like Will Ferrell and what was the other guy's name? His partner in crime in Talladega Nights.
Oh, yeah.
After all this talking all weekend, the brain is slowing down.
Slowing down for sure. Steven Richter, 69-61. Does he have a way to put one more 70-meter throw out there?
Fouled
It's
it.
going to be a foul. That was a big one, though.
John C. Riley.
John C. Riley, thank you very much.
Shake and bake. That's right. I said it.
69-61 for Steven Richter.
All right, Mika, let's go. Let's go. These German gents will be getting back on the plane tomorrow. And going home pretty happy, I think. Had a lot of great
67,
throws.
77, 70-01, 69-25, and a 68-01 in round 5. Mika has had a great series, and he likes that one. He wanted to like that one. And then he saw it land, and he's like, it was a pretty good day still.
Still a great series. Hey, once again, I just want to remind you to please follow Fibersport on Instagram. You'll be eligible for a drawing for a Rockback over-the-shoulder backpack. Also, 2 discus bags. Those will be raffled off in the next 2 days. So follow Fibersport, 6501 for Meek on that last toss.
Let's thank all our sponsors. We got some shout-outs and the crew out here. And then I think we just need to briefly kind of recap some of the highlights of this week.
Is that possible, briefly?
Maybe. We'll do our best.
Okay.
A big thank you to, obviously, Fibersport, Visit Tulsa, Roadie Sport. If you haven't followed Roadie Sport on Instagram, go to Roadie Sport, RODHE, Roadie Sport, no safe throws. And obviously Thrower X and Throws Pro. Thanks to all of the amazing people at Throws University for bringing this live stream together. The crew members, Dan, do you have the crew members? We should give them one
got 'em.
shout out, don't you think?
Yeah, these guys just worked their butts off the whole weekend. Thursday we had to deal with the loss of electricity.
Yeah, power outage.
Every day we've had to deal with wind and trying to get the cameras in sync, all those cords, trying not to step on Christoph Kipp's cameras.
There's Mika saying hi to
Yes.
his mom, probably.
Yes. Adjusting the views, adjusting the lenses, doing the edits, doing the cuts. Just these guys have been sensational to work with. They've been under pressure constantly 4 days in a row, and they've never, ever broken. Domingo, Will, Aiden, Sheldon, Andrew Saylor, who, by the way,
Had a birthday
Had a
this
birthday
weekend.
yesterday. So if you see him, give him a hug and buy him a beer. Jason Kuhn. He just ran away because he's afraid I'm going to sing happy birthday to him. Real quick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Andrew Saylor. You're an amazing production dude. He's going to be in charge of NBC Sports someday, I think.
I want to thank Kara Winger and the entire group of officials that made all of these events possible. They're weighing implements in, measuring, shagging, all of those guys, just incredible. Also, it goes without saying, Don Milliken, I would love to know what the total kind of payout that's going to come out of Don Milliken's pocket, but he said it is money well spent. He was a college thrower, North Texas, 50 years ago, and he just sees this as a way to give back to the sport that he loves so much. And what him and Caleb Seal have put together here continues to grow, and today is no different. We had 11 men break the 68-meter barrier. We had 6 men over 70 meters. Let's just run through this. I'll run through it real quick today, and then as well as the women yesterday. Mika Sosna, 70.05, both meets over 70 meters. Lawrence Okoye today, 70.76. Clemens
There's the
Proofer,
birthday boy.
71.01. Sam Mattis, both days over 70 meters, 71.27 to improve his lifetime best. Matthew Denny, 11 throws over 70 meters this weekend, and a new best for him, 74.78 is the second best throw in world history, because he was only outdone by Mikolos Alekna, who came in today, broke his own world record in round 1, and then broke it again in round 4 today. 75.56 is the new men's world record. Going back to yesterday's women's performances, highlighting some of these incredible performances, we saw Veronica Fraley go 68.72, Jaden Ulrich 69.39. She's still competing in college at University of Louisville. Congratulations, Jaden.
Incredible.
Lagi Tasaga breaks the 70-meter barrier for the first time ever, 70.72. And perhaps the best female discus thrower ever, although maybe Sandra Perkovic has something to say with that, but right now it is undeniable that Val Allman is throwing incredibly well. 73.52. It is the 5th best women's discus throw ever, and in my humble opinion and my partner Dan McQuaid's humble opinion, it is the clean world record. We have not seen anyone throw that far since the 1980s and the East Germans.
No, and she's for sure building a case, a strong case as the best ever. Sandra's got a lot of medals. Val's got some years ahead of her, though. If she can continue on the path she is, she's going to make a case. I'd say Sandra right now, but Val could possibly overtake her the way she's competing. She showed yesterday the heart of the champion when Lagi and Veronica threw those nice throws, and she just said, nope, hang on, I'm taking over. Boom.
Some other shout-outs this weekend. Curtis Thompson was the men's javelin champion. Maggie Ewan won the women's shot put championship today, and she joined us a little bit. Thank you so much, Maggie Ewan. Jordan Geist was the shot put champion, but he also had a really phenomenal hammer throw, 75 meters in the hammer the other day. Jordan Geist was your shot put champion at the World Invitational. Rachel Richardson really lit this thing on fire on Friday. 78.80, that's the 5th best women's hammer throw in world history, and the wind at Throwtown Ramona does not help hammer throwers, so that is just Rachel Richardson putting on one of the best performances ever in the women's hammer.
That was sensational.
What's your favorite performance of the weekend?
I loved it when, this is, my personal bias showing here. I loved it when Mika got off the plane on Wednesday night and showed up Thursday and threw 70 meters. I was shocked by it and happy by it, made happy by it. But, Rachel, incredible. That's got to be a redheaded world record, right? There's probably, knowing Don, there's probably a bonus for that.
It's possible.
But what can you say about Mikolas?
It was great to be able to talk with Mikolos and Mo Moatara, kind of giving us the pull the curtain back info on what they were shooting for today, but to come in and break the world record on throw number 1 put some pressure on Matty Denny, and Matty Denny was not afraid. He came back with a huge throw as well. But I'm going to give my flowers to Val Allman. She had some trepidation about coming here and competing, and she put that to rest. 73.52. Congratulations, Val Allman, and to all these fantastic throwers at Throwtown Ramona. There's the final from the Group B of men's discus, and you see Mika Sosna up on top, 70.01. Steven Richter, 69.61.
Outstanding.
Any other closing thoughts, Dan?
Just a magic place. So if you've thought about coming here, I'd highly recommend you do. It's just, the environment is magic. You get men and women from all over the world supporting each other, doing their best for the sport they love, taking inspiration from each other. It's just it's a beautiful vibe.
It's a pretty magical place.
Thanks also to my wife for feeding us the whole time. And
Yeah, no doubt. Everyone needs an Alice in their life.
yes, for driving Mika and Marius and Emmanuel and sometimes the Jamaicans around, and just being a huge help to everybody, and for forcing Don and Caleb, just for shaming them into putting up better bathrooms.
Don and Caleb, amazing. And one last shout out, a name we probably didn't say enough, but Dane Miller and the entire crew at Throws University. Dane Miller, working with Caleb and deciding to, spend the money on producing a live stream for all these events. Everyone who watched out there, I want to say thank you for watching, but it was cool to see the throwing community, the sponsors of the World Invitational, Don and Caleb, Dane, Thrower X, Throws Pro, Roadie Sport, Visit Tulsa, and Fiber Sport come together and try to just raise awareness and get good stuff into people's eyes who love the throws. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you soon.